people at Truckstop done teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truckstop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What up? What's going on? Good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get some things set up here. It's like my production, man. I set the stuff up and then it resets. All right, but come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let's see what we got going on in the building. Make sure everything is right. All right, shout out to Don Solo representing the crib. Aslan Rolling, what's going on? Shout out to all the MGM members, Gold Logistics, what's going on? DDD Trucker said he early in this thing. Shout out to Cleveland, SD Walt. Shout out to Kenny in this piece. What up? Shout out to Dave, what's going on? Marcellus, what's going on? Happy New Year, Craig, what's going on? Happy New Year. Weezoo, what's going on? How you doing? William Sweet, Jacksonville, Florida, representing. Urban Lloyd, what time does the live start? Now. It starts as soon as you hear that intro come on. Shout out to Gary, representing Texas. Michelle, how you doing? Kind of wish you didn't miss the live yesterday. You can always watch the replay. The replay is up. Great topic. Appreciate it. Shout out to Blaine, representing ATL. Shout out to Good, Mr. Cost Per Mile. Yeah, shout out to man, was somebody left a super chat yesterday. I forget the name. I forget the name, but they left a super chat yesterday. I didn't see it. I was cooking, but I know Great Polo was one, and then it was only one other person that left a super chat. And the reason I remember is because when I went back and watched the replay, he called me Mr. Cost Per Mile too. So whoever that was, if you're watching, shout out to you. I'll see. I think it was season something. I can't remember, but whoever it was, you know who you are. Shout out to you. If you're watching, appreciate it. Sorry I didn't catch it yesterday. We Carry Freight, what's going on? You said, welcome to the wonderful world of technology. You update something and all your settings are reset. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So when I do my live streams, we like to do things real crisp and clean. So I have to load everything into the boards and stuff. I got 2 boards back here. So when I switch screens and things like that, I got everything streamlined and I set it up pre-production, obviously before the show. And sometimes I'll walk away. Obviously the computer will go to sleep and then I'll come back and, things will be out of whack or an update will happen or something like that. And then I got to set everything back up. So sometimes it happens, but appreciate you. Shout out to Dave. Dave said, yeah, I missed it too, but you watched the replay. All right. Appreciate it. All right, so boom. Today we're going to cook up. We're going to cook up real good. I was going to do the whiteboard, but it seemed like when I do the whiteboard, I slow down because I got to write the stuff. So I don't want to do the whiteboard today. I'm just going to cook and y'all just got to, watch the replay or take notes. But, I talked that live stream that we did Sunday. It was a lot of good info. A lot of people did get a lot of good info, from that live stream Sunday, especially when Talk with Walt came up. He's probably one of the people who've been watching the channel for a couple of years. And, people, caught that, when he talked about, being down to his last 2 times. And I kind of got him back on the right track. When he found the channel, some people caught um the Cole, how he gave his testament. He didn't come on testimonies, but if you catch him in the Discord, he'll always talk about how when he found my channel, he was kind of struggling with the OTR, found my channel, Final Mile. It was one particular video that he watched of mine where I laid the blueprint out for him, and he just followed that video step by step, and within a year and a half, he's at 7 trucks. And he tells people, watch this video. It's laid out for you. And people have been. I've seen people come into the Discord, reach out to Jacob. Now, here's the reason why I didn't just pinpoint people, because I want people to get in the habit of, one, doing the research themselves, and two, networking. Right? Why? Because I don't know how long I'm gonna be around. The whole purpose of me even doing the Discord was that if I did decide to go away, there would be some type of community that is still behind for people to help each other. That isn't within a controlled environment. All right, which that's a controlled environment. There's moderators there. There are specialists in each channel, and he's the specialist. And find them out. Like, I don't have to appoint people specialists. It's just what I'm the type of person, like, what's known don't need to be explained. All right. So, I saw some people come in there. I saw somebody come in there. I saw the notification and reached out to him. That's part of the process. Because somebody said, oh, well, why you just don't tell us? Because the information is there. So you want me to sit up here for 3-4 hours on some of these lectures, put the content, give you the information for free, and then when you come find a channel a year later or a year and a half later or 10 years later, when this content is still up, or 6 months later, you want to get mad and say, yo, well, why you just don't put the link? Bro, so you want me to do it and then do the research and point you in the... No. Search. That's the point. Go in the Discord, communicate, network. Go through the content. Some guy in the content the other day people was telling him the content is out there, go look. He came back a day later. Still 24 hours. You still ain't post a link. I knew you was capped. So if people are in here saying, bro, I've seen it in his content, you want me to go back through, I did 900 pieces of content. So you want me to go find my own content, come back to this comment and link you to it? No. I'll just be capped. This is the issue. This is why I say, yo, it's in the content. I'm not finna go do the work. I've already done the work for you. I've done the work for you. I've made the sacrifices for you. I've wasted the money, lost the money, so that the people who take the information and want to apply it don't have to. The guy literally says it every time. Listen, I found this video. I follow it step by step. A year and a half later, he's at 7 trucks. What it took me 4.5 years to do, he did it in half the time because I already did it. So I can tell you how to do it. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to do it. Because I know how to do it, he did it. That's why when you see Cole come in here, all he does is troll and laugh, because he's like, bro, the man done put it out there for you. Y'all tweaking. But shout out to the people that I did. I saw some notifications. Some people reached out to Cole. Now, some people want to know, what did you do to kind of get talk with Walk and some other people in the right directions? So what I want to do today is I'm going to give you a 6-month strategy. I'm going to give you a 6-month strategy. I'm not going to pull up the whiteboard. I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to talk. You got to do what you want to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. And there's a poll up. We got a poll up? Yeah, we got the poll up. Yeah, so far we got 42 votes. Yeah, we need some work, man. Like, the poll needs some work, man. It's still a lot of people that, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about it today, and we're gonna get some understanding, because I know it's people out there There's a lot of people out there that need help. It's a lot of people that are having a hard time with this box truck thing, but we're gonna see how many people we're gonna save. Let me move this over here. All right, so boom, let's talk about it. 6-month plan. 6-month plan. You struggling, you having a rough time. How are we gonna turn this thing around? Mark, how you be getting people to turn their thing around? I'm finna let you know. So pay attention. Pay attention. If the MGM members say, Mark, you gave out too much, you got to throw it in members only, I always oblige the MGM members. So hopefully you here. First month, month one, you struggling, you having a hard time. You trying to, figure this thing out. You on your last, man, what are we going to do? The first thing you need to do is evaluate. Evaluate. What are we evaluating? Shit, what's going wrong? You need to evaluate and you need to stabilize. Financial assessment. Because you start a business to make money. And if you fail it, that means you're not making money. That means you're losing money. You're hemorrhaging money. All right, so we got to turn things around. So what do we need to assess? Assess the current debt. That's the first thing we need to do. How much debt are we in? That's why when Talk with Walt came up here, which a lot of people are wanting to know, what did I do? The first thing we do is we assess the current debt. That's why when he asked the other day, he was like, oh man, I'm thinking about getting this truck. I got this going on, that going on. And then he told me he's 50 upside down in the truck. No, you don't need to go get another truck. Why do you want to get yourself in further debt? We got you out of being in the red. We got you out of being in the red. No, don't go get another truck. It's not time to scale yet. You 50 upside down just on the truck alone because you signed a bad deal. Self-accountability, great. But we need to get that up out the way. That's bad debt. That's bad debt. The truck was 50. You've been paying on it 2 years and you still owe 50. No, we need to get that thing up out the way quick. Don't go get another truck. We need to assess the current debt. We need to assess the margins if there are any. If you're losing, you're probably not making money. It's probably no profit margin. Expenses, vehicle expenses. How much do we owe? Maintenance. Are we spending excessive money in maintenance? It may not be due to the truck. It could be to the driver behavior, the behavior of the drivers, your behavior. Insurance, other operational costs, fuel, tolls, food, just excessive discretion, just excessive spending. We need to assess all cost immediately. That's the first thing that we need to do. We need to know what it costs us to run our business at the bare minimum. Depending on what niche you are in, would determine your formula. We're not going over formulas. We spent 7 months last year. I'm not doing it this year. We got plenty of content on formulas on how to cover your costs in the niches. We're moving forward. Content is there. Comb through it. Non-essential costs, all the money that you waste, mentorships, subscriptions, unnecessary subscriptions. I think a lot of people spend money on unnecessary things. And then the things where you should be subscribing to, maybe like a CPA, you don't. That's why there's a lot of messages. And trust me, I don't have no problem reading your message and not responding because it's in the content. That's why you see red there. And it's just not me. It's just I get a lot of messages. I knew I was going to get a lot of tax messages. I can't help people that haven't been doing what's in the best interest of their business all year long. All right. So I think a lot of people that know that they're going to be negligent when it comes to processes and procedures, when it comes to your taxes, that should be a subscription that you pay for. There's people that pay subscriptions for I can't think of it. Whatever. Not ADP. Well, get a brain. The help me out. The uh what's the I know it because I've talked about it plenty of times. I don't know. The tax app. I can't think of it right now. I'm getting a brain freeze. But don't even use it. But you paying monthly. It's just monthly. So instead of doing that, because there's effort, QuickBooks. Instead of just wasting money with QuickBooks and you not even inputting the information, just hire a CPA firm. Not folding them, not man down at the Liberty tax with the guy dressed up as a Statue of Liberty twerking in front with the sign. Not him. Don't go to the Liberty Mutual where Buddy is twerking out front. They ain't got the neighborhood dope fiend to twerk out front for $10 an hour. Don't go there. That's not what I'm talking about. Go to a real firm where got glass floor to ceiling windows and a receptionist. Yeah, it's gonna cost you a little bit of money, and that money is gonna be dependent on how much they need to do. How big is your operation? Obviously, the more employees you got, the more payroll they got to do, the more money you make, the higher your monthly fee. If you're a single owner operator, I don't know what that's going to cost you, but it's not going to cost you as much as a person like Kolb that's running 7 trucks. Go to someone who is going to take care of your business monthly. And if you don't do what's in your best interest, they're going to pick up the phone and say, hey, we need your statement for this month, because it's their job to keep up with the books. You need to hire somebody that's going to be on your ass. Pause. So that when it comes around to this time of the year, your taxes is pretty much done. Why? Because they've been accounting for you the whole year. They've been itemizing everything all year long. And whatever they have to question, they'll call you. As soon as you send that statement, yeah, what's this right here? Oh, yeah, that's a little town I was in. I had to stop at a local place and get some gloves to pump fuel. All right, we'll just put that under miscellaneous, or we'll file it under tool, whatever. Get you a CPA. Stop wasting money. If you know you ain't open that QuickBooks app, but you paying $50 a month. Get rid of it and replace it with something that's more beneficial for your business. The things that aren't beneficial for your business, just get rid of them altogether. Anything that's not generating income or is not beneficial for your business, cut it. Stop the bleeding. Stop hemorrhaging. You're hemorrhaging money. Stop. If you're losing money on bad contracts, cut them. Do not be afraid to walk away from something. Let's see who's been watching the channel. What's the company that I've spoke on plenty of times that I had to walk away from? It was one specific account that I had that changed hands 2 or 3 times, and when it got to one specific 3PL, they didn't want to abide by what the current terms that I had, and I just washed my hands and walked away. Let's see who's been following the content and keeps up. What was the first 3PL I ever walked away from? Don Solo got it, XPO. I think some people, when I listen to people talk, they just want to hold on to something just to say they got something. Oh, I got this contract. Okay, what good is having it if you're losing on it? IKEA's right was with XPO, but XPO was a 3PL. Bro, I was getting a guarantee with 1, 1, and 1. $1 million, $1 million, 100,000. When Dynamics had it, I was getting 500 per truck per route Monday through Friday, 600 per truck per route Saturday and Sunday. When they lost it and it went to Urban Express, Urban Express paid me $4.25 per truck per route. Still great margins. When XPO acquired Urban Express, we fell under XPO. A few months later, I had to go to Bolingbrook. They wanted to renegotiate because, you know what, they wanted things under their terms now. Look, we're not paying you $4.25 or no more. Listen, these are the terms. It's going to be $33 a stop. It was $33 a stop. And they wanted me to add, I can't remember, it was like either a $2 or $3 million umbrella on top of what we had. When I sent it in to I was just always sending stuff to my broker like, hey man, add this to the policy, whatever. This was the first time he ever hit me back and said, yo, is this account, is this worth it? He didn't even tell me what the new quote was. He said, bro, is this something that's really worth it? I'm like, why you say that? He said, man. I said, is that bad? He said, man. Boy, it was bad. I let it go. Wasn't worth it. $33 a stop, then I got to get a $3 million umbrella? No. It sucked because we was running a lot of trucks. I was running 3 in the morning. I was running 3 in the evening, 5 to 9s. Oh, I was getting to it. That account is really what helped grow my final mile business exponentially. Luckily for me, I had a thriving moving company, so I had the money to really ramp it up and grow it. But I walked away from it when XPO took over a couple years later. It was rough. It was sad. I ended up having to transition those trucks over to like doing phone books or something. It was phone book season at the time. And just to keep those guys going, obviously I was losing until I could onboard those trucks somewhere else, which I did. It didn't take that long. But for like a month or so, I was, operating at a loss for those trucks. But I walked away. I'm not finna hold on to nothing that I'm losing at just to say, oh, I'm with XPO, we doing that. No. The ride was great while it lasted. At that particular time, back in 13, 14, 15, to get $500 guarantee on a route, $600 on a weekend, it's guys doing bobs right now making $650 in 2025. We was getting that back in 2013. Walked away from it. I'm not finna, no. It's my job to protect my cash flow. Trucks are paid for. Worst case scenario, if we couldn't find nothing to transition back into profitability for those trucks, then we just park them. We lay the guys off, unfortunately, and when we can find something for each individual truck, then we hire new guys, or if those guys that we had to lay off, bring them back. Or we transition those trucks into something else. We ramp up more trucks on the moving side, no problem. We're going to figure something out. But what we ain't going to do is operate at a loss knowingly just to say, oh, we doing something. No, I'm just not that type of guy. You say protect the bag. As a business person, I say protect the cash flow. You can protect the bag. I'm going to protect the cash flow. All right? We still in month 1. This is the recovery phase. We trying to save this thing. Still in month 1. So if you're running something, you got to know what it costs you to run. See, you can't even, this is why the previous step before this, evaluate your cost. We can't even do this step if we don't know what it's costing us to run. If we don't know what it's costing us to run, we don't know where we're losing. We know we're losing, so we just don't know how much. We got to know what it costs us to run our business. Now, we need to develop our cash reserves. Now, this is where I get pushback from a lot of guys where they say we don't need no working capital, which is crazy to me. You can't run a business without money. Period. I don't care what whoever told you. Even in tough times, you need to have funds. You know why business and people borrow money? Because they don't have no money. Man, let me hold $10. Why? Because things cost and they ain't got nothing. If things didn't cost, man wouldn't be asking you to borrow $10. You know why businesses that are in dire need of an infusion of capital? This is why there's a term, I need an infusion of capital. Because they don't have any money. And they need money to run the business. You have payroll, you have to fuel, you may have unforeseen breakdowns, you may have claims, you may get a claim. They may hold your money. Then what? You just gonna stop because they held your money? This same company, Dynamics, they held my settlement for 2 periods. I didn't stop. That's the most ludicrous. I think that was one of the most ludicrous things that I've heard this year so far. Even when your business is struggling, you gotta have cash flow. You need to focus, once we then covered all them steps, building our reserves. That's why we're cutting. We're cutting so we can start building our reserves up. So we got to reorganize. This is the reorganization. The first month is reorganization. We have to focus on how to manage our money. Where should we spend? Where should we cut? How much should we spend? Just because we need something don't mean just buy it or subscribe to the first company that we come across. I'm trying to cut cuts all the way around the board. I don't need no fancy insurance company, none of that. The insurance companies that I've had, y'all probably never heard of them. My broker always was on the hunt. I'm not obligated or tied down to no insurance company. We ain't friends. When the renewal is up, let me find something. Let something come up that's cheaper. We gone. You gonna give me the same hard time that the next company gonna give me if we have an accident and we at fault, or if it's a claim and we at fault. At fault is at fault. Y'all got pretty much the same practices. Depending on how severe the claim is, you gonna drop me. Progressive gonna drop me. This company gonna drop me. So I'm gonna go with the cheapest person. To be honest with you. So now that we have figured out where we're hemorrhaging, we've cut all the unnecessary expenses. We're working on building up our cash reserves. Now we're going into month 2. Now it's time to refine our operational strategy. First thing we need to do is start to audit our routes. What are you doing? Are you efficient? Where can we optimize? Where can we combine? Where can we reduce? Efficiency is key. See, a lot of people spend unnecessary money because they're not operating efficiently. The other day on the live stream, we were talking about 2 type of people that's kind of running things. And one of the people was the J. I didn't say the J. I was talking about the other people. In this situation right here, you know who's a good example of being very, 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 very frugal and just efficient? The J. Now I ain't gonna say who they is. If you know, you know. Cheap as a, even though I'm Baptist and I'm a Christian, when it comes to business, I'm like a black J. Now some of y'all lost. Y'all don't know what a J is. Figure it out. You need to run your business like you's a J. Just cut costs wherever you can. You still need a clue? Back in the day, we used to be like, man, I'm finna J you down. But we actually said the word. Now, I ain't gonna say the word. We had a spot here in Chicago back in the day. It ain't there no more. It was called J Town, but we actually said the word. We'll go over there and we'll get our. This is back when urban fashion was in back in the day in the 90s. I'll go over there and get me some slick overalls. Go get me a pair of Deodoras, some British Knights, some lug boots. You dig what I'm saying? Go get me a Billion Bay jacket. You dig what I'm saying? A starter pullover with the pouch in the front with the Velcro pouch. You dig what I'm saying? With the starter logo right here. Stop playing with me, boy. We was on Halsted Street, right there off Roosevelt, between Maxwell Street. I'm from the crib. You got to audit. You got to audit. You need to cut. Now, after we cut, we need to supplement. All right, we cut. We've optimized what we got currently going on. Do we have time to do something else? If you do, this is where you start to implement your apps, Curry, your Freight. Sign up for all these apps. If you're running in trucking, OTR, local, you want to, if you're doing, even if you're doing something dedicated, we're in the time now where you want to have these apps just on deck, just in case, to supplement. Stay diversified if possible. You start a business to make money. The business, if possible, and I know some people are, if they're, especially if they're on operating, they're running over the road, they're, confined to the HOS. But for people that may not be, sky's the limit. Streamline all your processes. Now, I've talked about streamlining before. I know people like to have all these different bank accounts and stuff. I've never been a person to have different bank accounts. One, because I'm very efficient when it comes to capital. I don't need a maintenance account in this, that. If that's something that you need to do, fine. I've never had a maintenance account. I've always had one business account for said particular business. And whatever the business need, that account could cover it. It's streamlined. The business credit cards, the fuel cards, all come out of that business bank account. I only have to send one statement over to my CPA because all the credits and all the debits are coming in and out of that one account. I got to send one bank statement every month from one account. Now, if that's, if you're not as, frugal or just tight, or you don't operate like a J, and you need to have a maintenance account where, let me just set this aside, then, fine. But you want to streamline as much as possible. And it's just not in, like your financing is concerned. You want to streamline everything, even your operational processes and procedures. If there's any inefficiencies, you need to get rid of them. Start eliminating them. Start improving your processes and procedures. Start improving your financial habits. Implement systems that'll help you track things. If you are operating a multitude of trucks, you should have software to manage and monitor those trucks. And if you do, just don't get the GPS package. You need to get pretty much all the add-ons. You want to monitor the driving behavior of your drivers. Why? This helps with efficiency. I want to know if a driver is harsh braking. Why? Because this is why we keep having to get brakes on this truck too frequently. We want to know these things so we can bring that driver in, do corrective action, train him so we can fix the problem so that we can save money. The money that you're spending on these add-ons is to help you save money. It's not there just so you can have it and don't utilize it. The purpose is to save money. I want to know if you're harsh accelerating. I want to know if you're idling. If you stop to use the bathroom, don't leave my truck running. Cut it off. You know you're going to be somewhere for a while, cut it off. Unless you're sitting out front waiting on a job and you're on a job, that's different. If you're on your time and you're in a restaurant, don't leave my stuff running. If it's a nice brisk day, it's 65, 68, 70 degrees outside, and you waiting on a customer, man, cut the truck off. You can let the windows down, get you some fresh air, pimp. You ain't got the AC blowing, you ain't got the heat blowing. It's a night. You got the windows down anyway. Man, cut the truck off, man. Get you some fresh air, pimp. We need to know all that. That's where your ops supervisors, man, y'all been idling for, he's monitoring. Man, y'all been idling for 30 minutes. Everything all right? Yeah, they tell you the issue. All right, do me a favor, cut the truck off then. All right. You're just sitting there idling. This is software that I deem necessary. You can't be everywhere at all times, and no one's going to run your business like you. See, it's your job to be cheap. Your employees, they ain't thinking about idling because it's not their money. They don't care about accelerating hard, harsh acceleration, harsh, excessive braking. They ain't paying for them brakes. But you need to monitor these things, and they need to know you monitoring them because you pulling them in and you doing corrective action. Customer service focus. Now, this is something we talked about last week. We talked about vernacular. It got real quiet when we talked about it. I'm cooking. It's 37 likes. It's almost 100 people in here. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Listen. You can't just focus on the do. That's great, but we got to focus on building the relationships with the customers. One is the service. Communication effectively. Hit the like button. We need to know how to speak professionally. We need to know the terminology, especially if you're doing B2B. You may not have to use industry jargon if you're doing B2C because the consumer is not going to know what you're talking about if you get too fancy. But if you're doing B2B work, then you need to use industry jargon. You need to speak like a professional using industry jargon. Presentation. It may not be the fact that you're losing money. It could be the fact that you're just not getting enough business, and that could be due to your presentation. And we're talking about the individual or said individuals if you're at scale, uniforms, cleanliness. If you are like doing moving and final mile, I get it. You may have a guy or two, if it's a 2-man team or a 3-man team, you may have a guy that's a workhorse, but he's not articulate. It might be a guy that don't even speak English, but you need to make sure obviously one person speaks English and one person can articulate with the customer. We've all had situations where we've had service people come out, delivery teams come out, and we can't even communicate. I need this over here. I need this over there. No. Or they point. No. Make sure you got someone that can communicate with the customer effectively. At least one person. Going above and beyond. We talked about this yesterday. Hit the like button. Going above and beyond. No one is going to work harder for your business than you. It's not a job where you punch at 9 and you punch at 5, and if you're not complete, if the scope of work that was assigned to you isn't complete by 5, you can pick up where you left off the next day, because they're forcing you, or you're required to punch out because they don't want to pay OT. No, when you own your own business, in most cases, depending on what you're doing, what niche you're in, you don't stop until the job is done. There's been plenty moves that I've been on that just seemed like they weren't going to never end. I just couldn't be like, hey, man, we give up. I'm just going to leave all the rest of this stuff off the curb, man. I ain't going up them 4 flights no more. I'm not doing it. It's too hot. It's 98 degrees out here. You live on a 4th floor. These stairs is a monster. My knees is killing me. Man, you got to muster it up. It's your job to go above and beyond. Why? One, and this goes for every niche, you want repeat business. See, for the new people, I've talked about these things before. One of the key things with the 2 niches that I specialize in, final mile and moving, especially the moving side, repeat business is what's going to take you to the top. The customers that you do a great job for, especially in a big city like New York, Chicago, where there's just a lot of apartments, most people with apartments move every year. And they're in networks and social settings with other people that live the same way they do, apartments. You do a good job with a customer, they become your biggest advocate. They're going to advocate for you. That becomes a free walking marketer, advertiser for your business, because now they're going to refer you to all their friends, family, and colleagues. The money that you made off of them, they're steady bringing you money as well. That's why it's imperative. Each customer could turn into 10 or 20 potential customers in the future. Sky's the limit. Final mile, same thing. A lot of these 3PLs may not just be dealing with the same contract that you're working on. They may have other opportunities with that same contract. They may have other contracts that based on the performance that you're doing, that ops supervisor could be talking to another ops supervisor in an ops supervisor meeting, and that ops supervisor could be talking about how they're struggling with whatever contract they're overseeing. And then this guy can say, well, we got a guy that's performing really well. I can ask him, does he have another truck or a couple trucks, and maybe we can filter some of them in to kind of help you out. That's how I started doing Office Depot, because we were doing a great job with IKEA. When you do good jobs, when you do good work, word will spread within these 3PLs, and customers will be your biggest advocate. Yo, yeah, I hired this company. They came and did a great job. It was a 95-degree day. You know, I live on a third, and I only like to live on third floors because I don't like people over me. These guys that came and they moved me from a third to a third. It was one of those 98-degree days. I thought they weren't going to show up because there's no way I'm going to move on a 100-degree day. These guys showed up. I felt so bad for them. And I'm not making this up. Like, customers have said this. I felt so bad for you guys. Like, I've had customers that were just, please take a break. No, we not stopping. We got to get this shit done. Just please take a break. They run into the store back getting us Gatorade and Powerades, and man, do you guys want Jimmy John's? Oh, I feel so bad. And that sentiment, that when they see you really working, and especially in those type of conditions, that's good for the guys, especially if you got good guys, because then that tip. But they become an advocate. Now they're telling her, yeah, I heard you got to move. Yeah, yeah, I had these guys. They came and they moved me on a 100-degree day. These guys didn't even stop. I begged them to take a break. They did not take a break. They moved me from a third to a third in 4.5 hours. Oh yeah, you got their number? Sure, I'll give it to you. Yeah, hi, you moved my friend Jill. She's my colleague. She just couldn't stop raving about how you guys moved her last summer, and it was a 100-degree day. And I was wondering if you guys had any availability August 1st. I would love to hire you guys. You don't have to sell yourself to this customer. The job that you did for the person that referred, that person has already sold you. Only thing you got to do now is do the scheduling. That's money in the bank. You can cancel. They ain't looking for nobody. If you provide good customer service year after year after year, after so many years, 40% of my business was repeat customers and referrals. Just do good work. Make sure you're striving for perfection day after day after day. Let's go into month 3. Now that we've found the issues, we've corrected the operational inefficiencies. Shout out to Weezu. Would apply on hospitals and pharmacies. What would apply on hospitals and pharmacies? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. You gotta be a little bit more specific. You don't gotta super chat it. Just, I'll be searching for it. Just be a little bit more specific. What point have I talked about would apply? Just be a little bit more specific. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Next, in month 3, we want to improve our marketing and networking. That's why I just kind of talked about providing customer service and customers becoming a brand ambassador for you. And that could be in any setting. That could be in any niche. That could be an OTR. That could be brokers. That could be shippers. That could be anything where people can network and source you as a business. All right. Local, final mile, moving, whatever. So you want to improve your marketing and networking. It's 2025. You have to be visible online. If you're not, you got to step it up. If not, you said customers. I'm saying what you just said with moving, would it apply to customers? I said a lot about moving. you you got to be specific. What you just said about moving? I said a lot about moving. I'm cooking. Just write a long. Just write your question out. Just be long in detail because I'm saying so much stuff. I just can't. And then the stream is on a delay, so you're seeing what I'm saying 10 to 15 seconds later. So just write a long, detailed question so I can answer. Because my brain is I'm on month 3, but I'm processing month 6 right now. So just write a long question so I can get to it. All right. So month 3, and you want to improve your online presence. It's 2025. You got to be online. There's no way that you can be successful, especially in some niches more than the others, if you don't have an online presence. I think regardless of the niche, you should have a website. I think you should invest in search engine optimizing it. More so in some niches, more so than others. If you're dealing directly with consumers like moving, you need to make sure your website is search engine optimized as best as it can be. Because this is where consumers are searching. Like we don't have phone books anymore. Nobody really cares about uh, phone books. And back in the day, people used to look at the BBB. Nobody care about that no more. People are going to Google, they're going to Thumbtack, they're going to Yelp, they're looking at reviews. You have to be online. Your social media presence. You have to create one. You have to be active. This is why they have social media managers. The reason why social media marketing firms and social media managers exist is because there's a need for it, especially if you're in business and you're dealing with consumers. You need to have a presence online. You need to utilize Instagram. You need to utilize Facebook. You need to showcase your work. Shout out to Moving Company Hustle. If you're in here, I be seeing all your reels. He's really active on his reels, marketing his moving company out there in Colorado. Hit the like button. Um, he has to make them quirky, and he does a lot of back with the phone. You have to do things to attract the attention. It just can't, there has to be some type of education and edutainment there as well for the consumer. Educational, right? Because you want to educate the consumer on your business and your practices, but you want to make it fun for them. All right. We're living in a different society now, and it's okay to make things a little bit fun. You want to engage with people. So not only just build these social media platforms, you want to respond to comments. You want to respond to questions because a person might see your reel for delivery or let's say moving, and they might want to ask you a question right then and there. And that could be an opportunity that you could potentially get, but because you're so busy or you just think you're too good to respond to people that are in your comment section, here's a person that was 98% going to book you. They just had a simple question. Or it could have been as simple as, do you have I'm in your local market. Do you have availability next Tuesday? But because you're not monitoring, you're not keeping up with it for whatever reason, there's an opportunity that you miss. So you do have to engage in it. There's also other opportunities like forums. There's still people that use forums. Forums were big back in my beginning. Not so much popular now, but certain niches are, really still utilize forums. OTR truckers, they're still really big in forums. there's a lot of trucker forums that have a lot of traffic. Not on the box truck, there's not really, but on the semi side, like like the truckers report, those forums, especially some of those channels and some of these more popular forums, are heavily frequented still today. Forums in trucking is like the new version of the CB radio. Like a lot of truckers still use forums today. So you want to engage with the people. You also want to network. Another reason why I created the Discord. Not everything or not every question may necessarily involve, a decade or more of experience. It could be a simple question that someone that has already experienced it or has been doing this a year or two could answer for you. So you have to network. You have to find right communities to network with and help you. In my Discord, there's people, trading information, sharing ideas, opportunities that are arising there, posting them. This is why I created it. So there could be a networking community, and whenever I do decide to fade into the shadows, I left something behind that was built that can still help people. You have to find those communities. They're out there. I get requested to join a lot of communities. I just don't. I have my own community. But there's plenty of communities out there. You see Facebook groups. I'm not saying every Facebook group is, but you got different groups, you got forums, whatever. Find one. Word of mouth. I want to circle back to that because it's very important. It's free marketing. The way you get word of mouth is providing good, excellent service, no matter the niche. No matter the niche. Listen, I could expound on word of mouth forever. And I'm telling you, word of mouth, you can't find better marketing or advertising than word of mouth. Word of mouth is really what helped me grow. I swear to God, on everything I love, word of mouth. By the grace of God. When you're dealing with consumers, even when you're dealing with businesses, you have to offer incentives, discounts. I remember when we were doing Office Depot, we were doing 300 per truck per day. Eventually they came and they wanted to renegotiate. I renegotiated that one time to 275. They came back later, they wanted to go to 250. I couldn't go to 250. 275 was it. I went down to 275 because I was running a multitude of trucks and vans at that particular time. And, it was cutting my margin down a little bit more, but I knew that they were desperate and I'd rather take a, a smaller piece and to keep it consistent than them just struggle until they can find 9 other contractors to cover those 9 routes. When they wanted to go down to 250, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I was flexible. And you have to be flexible, especially when people are providing you with opportunity. Now, when you're dealing more with consumers, you can offer discounts. There was different discounts that I offered for moving. One was senior citizen discount. Student discount. And there's a reason why. I'm going to tell you why student discount, senior citizen discount, and military discount. Now, the police, I used to get calls from police, and I didn't give a police discount. And police, they just used to getting discounts. You ain't getting a discount over here. Because it's not going to benefit me. I don't care that you the police. Students, senior citizens, military. Why? More community based. Students, I talk about all the time. Loyola here, University of Chicago. Oh my God. When their semester would end and start, literally at the end of the semester, I could have all my moving trucks. I swear to God, for at the University of Chicago in Hyde Park for a week. They all just be in Hyde Park. Once I got into that parent forum, they got this forum where parents, like, because a lot of people that go to University of Chicago, whether they're undergrad or they're there for their master's or their doctorate, their parents are funding it. It's an expensive school, right? And people are there from all over the world. And what happens is, not every time are these parents are flying in when their kids need certain things. So they have this community-based forum for the parents where certain service providers are listed that have, another parent has used and is entrusted, and they don't have to worry about, their kid being M word or, anything happening. You gotta understand, a lot of these people that travel here, like that go to the university, they may not have been raised in a big city. They're kind of slow. That's why if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of stick up people target like the University of Chicago because those people over there don't have a clue. They could be studying late and the University of Chicago, it's like Hyde Park is like surrounded by the hood. So they'll be walking from the library late at night and phone them will pull up and rob them. That's why they got security people damn near standing on every corner and they got blue lights, but still they get robbed. Last year they robbed one of the security people that was standing out there. So their parents are, they want to make sure they find someone that's trusted because they may not be able to fly from Boston to help their kid move down the street. They're just moving down the street. They're moving off the from a dorm or from a university property to something that's privately owned. They stay within the community. And once you get into one of those networks or those forums, then sky's the limit. You're going to move the parents are using that. A parent listed us. I didn't even know it existed. We did something for a parent and they listed. And I asked somebody, I'm like, man, we keep getting, yeah. Oh no, the lady said, she's like, yeah, I found you in the something, whatever she called it. I'm like, what's that? She was like, yeah, it's a forum where the parents list service providers and you guys are listed, trusted, and you're here for moving. And then it was like, oh, okay, so this is why I'm getting so many calls. So, man, whoever that mom was, I wish I could send her something. Because from that moment on, every year, Hyde Park, we were doing those moves. But networks like that, communities like that, forums like that, most colleges have them. Most universities have them. Senior citizens, 10% discount for students, 10% discount for seniors. Why? Senior-based community. We're in all the senior-based community. Brooks Homes or whatever up north off of Sheridan, all their facilities, we in them. Word of mouth. Not only just the word of mouth, the staff. It's difficult moving a person in and out of a senior living facility. It's strict. Why? Most of them aren't designed with moving in mind, right? So the elevators are, if they have to block off an elevator for a move in or a move out, you understand there's a senior citizens. They're not taking the stairs. So we can't move anyone in during breakfast. When lunch comes, we can't move and has to cease. Why? Because they need the elevators because people are coming from their rooms down to the cafeteria or whatever it is for them to eat. So like certain times they wouldn't allow people to move or we would have to cease moving at certain times. And a lot of moving companies may not have been, as understanding. So certain senior living facilities we were in and we would get referred by those facilities for all those moves. One, because the service, we were understanding of the situation. We're dealing with seniors, we understand, but also because of the word of mouth, because we're offering a 10% discount. Listen, this is community-based. We understand a lot of these people are living on fixed incomes. So it's a marketing tool, but it's also a community. So it's easier for the word of mouth to spread amongst the people living in the facility as well as uh, the administrators, because they become the referral to the tenant. And then military is the same thing. You move someone on one of those military bases, and throughout those military bases, then they're going to spread the word. There's a military base here up in Northwoods or North Lake. We was always up there. Far, always up there. 10% discount. I'm not giving a discount to anything that's not community based. I need the word to spread. I don't care about policemen. I don't care that you're a policeman. Great. Thank you for your service. Firemen, appreciate you. But you're not really community based. So it serves me no purpose to give you a 10% discount because you're a police officer. This ain't Dunkin' Donuts. Community based only. So you want to offer incentives to your consumers. And this is going to help improve your marketing and your network because they're going to become an advocate for you. Create some type of digital coupon and implement that on your website. Now we're going into month 4. Month 4, we're going to focus on increasing efficiency and more cost cutting. Now we're going to optimize our fleet management. If we're running older trucks, now it's time to start looking at maintenance. Have we been dropping the ball? Is a big part of the reason why we're hemorrhaging money is because we've been lacking maintenance, and that could be due to us not knowing what it's costing to run our business, and we're running at a loss because we don't know how to bid, or we don't know how, when we go into a meeting with a 3PL, to properly negotiate. We need to look at our fuel efficiency. We need to reduce downtime. Weezu, did you ever come back with that question? Oh, I see another super chat. I'm sorry. Repeat business discount. Appreciate that. So me, no. Now, if a customer requested it, yes. May have been once or twice that I did offer like some type of special, but it was not something that was implemented on the website and promoted on the website. The times that I did a repeat customer discount was short term and temporary. It wasn't something that was focused. I have done it, but it's not something that was just implemented, like the student discount, the military discount, and the senior citizen discount. So instead of consider improving and looking into your trucks, all right? Focusing on the maintenance of your truck. All right, we're turning things around. We want to get those trucks running efficiently. Evaluate the expenses again. Now, I know you keep hearing me talk about evaluating expenses every month. Is a reason why, because you should be evaluating your expenses every month. I'm going to say this every month. Evaluate your expenses. If you get lazy, that's where you drop the ball at. Prices change, fuel changes, things change, cost of living continues to go. Things are changing, so you should be evaluating your cost every single month and always. And you may not be able to cut costs every single month, but you should always be searching for ways to do it. If you get lax and you get lazy, then there's going to come a time where you could cut costs, but you ain't looking to cut costs because you had 3 months of trying to cut costs and it just didn't work out for you. Now month 4, where your insurance is renewing in 2 months, where you should tell your broker to start shopping you don't, and your just policy automatically renews. And guess what? There's probably 3 proposals that you don't know that if he would have shopped you, he could have got back and you could have saved a couple $100 a month. So it's a practice that you should repeat month after month after month, even if it's not yielding any results. The purpose of a business is to make money, as much of it as possible. And the easy way to do it is by increasing your profit margin, by decreasing your cost. Are you training your guys? Are you efficient? If you're a single owner operator, are you looking for the cheapest fuel stations, or are you just stopping? If you have trucks, are you coaching your team to be fuel as far as efficient on where they stop? Maybe you should be telling them where to go for fuel. Maybe you should be doing the searching for them. Maybe you should be monitoring the tanks and telling them, let's stop for fuel. There's a fuel station up the road. Stop it that way. Shopping your insurance. You should know when your insurance is going to renew. If your insurance renews every January, in October, tell your broker to start shopping you. Consolidate routes. If you are running at scale, have your ops guy, or if it's you, optimize routes for guys if they don't know how to optimize. Yeah, it's going to take more time, but it's going to cut costs down. Find ways to reduce unnecessary overhead. Renegotiate contracts. You shouldn't have to wait for people to approach you. You can be proactive and approach people as well. And guess what? If you are one of those people that are in fear, oh, I don't want to approach them because I don't want to scare them away, well, then guess what, man? Maybe this isn't for you, because at the end of the day, they ain't going to have no problem approaching you, telling you, hey, man, hey, I know we paying you $300 guaranteed, but, man, we need to cut you down. Can we negotiate down to $275? Like, people have no problem trying to negotiate you down. So you should have no problem trying to negotiate up. And if you're in fear because you feel like you're going to run somebody away, then, you can't be a business owner and run a business scary. You're going to take, these are the risks that you should be taking. The risks that you taking as far as starting a business with not enough working capital, those ain't a risk that I'm going to take. The risk that I'm going to take is, look, man, our costs have gone up due to things that are beyond our control. Insurance has gone up nationally. Fuel has gone up nationally. Due to unforeseen economical events, we are having to pay more to attract candidates for work. So our costs have gone up. So it's only right we renegotiate. I'm not finna just, well, man, I'm scared because if I go talk to them, they may just get rid of me. That's a chance. See, now that's the risk I'm willing to take. If you want to just run forever, okay. But I guarantee you, over time, the cost of operation is going to continue to scale that way. It ain't going to go this way. It's going to go that way. I'm telling you, rates that you're making now, we was making over 10 years ago. And I showed you. Because somebody said, oh, man, you ain't with me. Well, I showed you on the montage live stream. I showed you rates that we was getting in 2013 I was getting. I showed you the emails. I showed you the negotiations. The rates have been the same. I'm not going to just say it just because it sounds cool. No, I showed you. So you have to negotiate. You have to renegotiate. Nothing stays the same. You know why a lot of these companies can pay little money It's because people accept it. You get what you negotiate. And if you accept something just to say you got something, just so that you can run and lose money because you just want to tell everybody you running for this company, then that's something that I don't know. It just don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. Whatever technology you need to get to help you streamline this stuff, especially if you're going to utilize it, use it. Tracking software. Somebody said telematics, Fleetmatics, which is now Verizon Reveal. Expensive, but to me, this is what I've used, and it's the most effective, in my opinion. It's expensive, though. We're in month 5 now. Now, month 5, now it's time. We done got control of everything now. Now it's time to potentially, depending, scale and diversify. We need to target better opportunities. We need to start looking for more lucrative contracts, especially those with higher paying customers. Don't be afraid to open your mouth. Pause. Negotiate. And see, this where education comes in, and this is where vernacular comes in. And this is why it's so important. This is why when people say education don't mean nothing, bro, that's the overlay for the underlay to keep you held down. A person, if I hold an opportunity, I'm an operations supervisor for XPO, and I hold an opportunity. I have one contract available. I have one route available. We post it on Indeed. I get a flurry of owner operators that contact me, and I start doing interviews. Who do you think I'm going to hire? Do you think I'm going to hire someone that calls or comes in to my office in XPO and they don't present themselves one in a professional manner? You think I'm going to hire somebody who can't speak and they don't understand industry jargon? I'm over the Lowe's contract for this whole market of Chicago, which means my job is on the line. You think I'm going to send you in a multitude of people's houses every day and you don't know what the hell you're talking about? Of course not. Why? See, this is why I'm saying people need to think on a broader scale. And then you wonder why you can't get any opportunities or why you get outbid or get outbeat. Why would I hire someone who comes for an opportunity and they don't even present or speak properly? I'm sending you in 10 to 12 to 13 people's homes a day. My job is on the line. This is a national contract. You know why people don't negotiate? Because they don't know how to. They just accept whatever's placed in front of them. You're doing B2B. I'm not bringing you in as an entry-level sales guy and we're going to pay you base rate plus commission. There's no negotiation there. You apply with us. We didn't come looking for you. What makes you? That's for entry level. When you're doing B2B work, listen, you got an opportunity. Listen, okay, I know you got it listed, but let's see if we can negotiate. This is business. We're doing business together as a partnership. Now, you're going to have some that's sticklers. XPO is a stickler. You may not be able to negotiate with them. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. There's some out there that are sticklers. You got to pick and choose your battles wisely, pick your poison. XPO, sticklers. This is why they number 3. This is why they got to number 3 as quick as they did. It was trucking companies out here decades, 100 years before they even got started. Right now, for the past, I don't know how many years, they've been the number 3 trucking company in this country, right behind UPS and FedEx. You know why? Because they know how to make money. They know how to keep money. They have a system and an infrastructure in place where if you don't want to do it, don't worry about it. We'll get it done. We'll either get it done internally or we'll find we got another owner operator that'll do it for this rate. Now, there's some companies that have a little bit more flexibility. They might be willing to negotiate. But here's the thing. Do you think they'll be willing to negotiate with someone who comes in and they don't present themselves in a manner where they leave a lasting impression on the operations supervisor? If you come in there and you mediocre, you just come in there like the last 100 people that came in there. Just a regular old owner operator who doesn't know how to speak the industry jargon, that doesn't know how to sell himself. Why would I negotiate with you? The person that comes in there and that goes above and beyond and they can articulate themselves well, wait a minute, hold on, this is different. What was that word you just used? Ain't nobody never used that word. And it's in context, too. This guy, he's clean. Came in there and talking about projections and this is different. You know, we'll give him an extra 1 or 2%. I like that. I'm willing to chance. We don't really negotiate, but I'll give him that extra 2% he's looking for. Something different about that guy. He spoke really, really well. And he's an owner operator. He's going to be on the truck. So that means he's going to be the individual that the customers see. He's going to interact with the customers. This is a good look because we do need to get when we look at our ratings, when we send our surveys out, one of the things that we're lacking on when we get the surveys back is communication. Customers have expressed their disdain how a lot of guys speak broken English or they don't speak English or they just didn't communicate well. His communication is there. This guy will help get our surveys up on communication because guess what? Lowe's is looking at these surveys. This is going to be instrumental when our contract is up in another year on if they're going to renew the contract or not when we go to rebid. See, this is bigger than you. It's bigger than just you getting on a truck and lifting something or driving somewhere. There's other things that are involved. I would be willing to give a person an extra bump if they come in and they interview exceptionally well. And they told me they're going to be on the truck. And, you know, we looking at surveys. This is going to benefit us. Yeah, I'll give a guy 2% because this guy's going to help us get our surveys up with communication. He can speak well. We got a bunch of guys that really don't speak good English or English at all. And then the guys that do, you know, they phone them. They, you know, we can bring him in and we can put him in the more affluent areas where the customers are a little bit more picky. If you have been in trucking, especially when you're dealing with consumers, there's certain customers that are just a little bit more picky. Especially when you're dealing with people of affluence. The more affluent they are, the more pickier they are. You can get what you want. You just have to know how to go out and get it. You get what you negotiate. Don't undersell yourself. The difference with a person who's going to get in this business, run it up for whatever their time period is. If they have a plan, let's say I'm going to get this thing 10 years, I'm going to get this 15 years, and then I'm going to transition out into something else. That's going to be the difference from that person and the person who's still going to be doing this shit 20, 25, 30 years later. That's the person that's getting by. He's been getting by forever, going to always get by to the day they die. Instead of focusing on getting ahead. You get what you negotiate. It's okay to undersell yourself sometimes, but not all the time. It might be a customer that's repeat that we might take a smaller margin. They in a bad situation. All right, we're going to help you out this time. Or a situation where we could do it where we see other opportunities. If we do this, we see other opportunities behind that. Yep, okay, bet. But not all the time. It's people that are just doing this all the time because they don't know what it's costing them to run their business. Two, they don't know how to negotiate. I could talk about this all day. You get what you negotiate. There's going to be times when you have to build yourself up to get to that position. But once you get there, you have to negotiate. Now, if you gotten to the point now where we turn things around, you got to the point where you're growing, you're seeing money, and the growing is consistent, now it may be time to outsource. If you want to grow, you want to scale, if it presents itself, outsourcing, hire experience, hire a driver. Maybe some administrative task, depending on the niche and where you're at. This will help free up your time. You'll know when that time is. Like I knew when it was time for me to come off. It was just becoming too hectic. I was steady fielding calls in the field. It was becoming overwhelming for my crew that I was on the truck with because I would go missing for 15, 20 minutes. Why? Because I'm having to tuck off somewhere and book other jobs or close out the other two trucks. The customers looking for me. The guys are, having to do the work of 3 people with 2 people because I'm working, but in order to keep things going, I got to keep taking these calls and I got to close out these other jobs. It just wasn't efficient. It wasn't fair to the guys. It wasn't fair to the customers paying $100 an hour. They're paying $100 for 3 guys. They're not paying $100 for 2 guys, and while the other guy books other business. All right, let me come off. That's how I knew it was time to come off, because the business was telling me it's time to come off. The business will talk to you. When people are like, Mark, what do you mean by the business will talk to you? In a situation like that, the business is telling me, look, you biting off more than you can chew. You got enough business going on. You got 3 trucks out here. You're on a truck. You got other 2 trucks that are calling you to close out. You steady got calls coming in that you're taking, booking future business. Like you're at the point now where you can run the business from the back. You need to handle the administrative task. That's the business talking to me, because it was affecting the customer and the crew in a negative way. Just replace me with a guy. Let me take care of the things from the crib. Let me book business from the crib and close out jobs. Free my time up to do things that will continue to bring in more business. Reinvest. And see, this is where the issue comes in as well. And then we're talking about turning it around in 6 months. What a lot of people don't understand is when you start a business, in order to grow the business, you have to reinvest the money. A lot of people start a business without delayed gratification, and a lot of that reinvestment money goes into cost of living. And to each his own. Like this year, we're not gonna, we ain't gonna go like what's known don't be explained. We did that all last month. We just gonna say what it is this year, and certain things we're not gonna expound on. You have to reinvest money that you got coming in to improve the business and to grow the business. So marketing, if it's purchasing more equipment, hiring, so on and so forth. Uh, and it doesn't mean go all in at once. Scaling is gradual. It's gradual. It's being smart. Like Talk with Walk, he wanted to get another truck the other day, and I gave him my input. And he came to the terms that it wasn't right. It wasn't the right time. Sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves, and that can get you into trouble as well. We can't bite off more than we can chew, as far as work is concerned, as far as debt is concerned. And if it's a combination of both, you could really screw yourself. You have to be calculated in your decision making process and expand while still keeping your finances in check. It's a gradual thing. And this is another thing that the business will tell you. The business will let you know. You know. All right, so now we got things we're in the month 6 now. Now we're going to review, we're going to adjust, and we're going to continuously prepare for the future. We're going to review the progress. We're going to look at what we've done in the past 5 months. We're going to see what's working thus far, what's not working. And we're going to utilize technology to assess the data and adjust. We're going to pay attention to where we generated the most money and what didn't. And the things that are generating the most money, those are the things we're going to focus and double down on. All right. We're going to work on our partnerships, and this works in any niche. Your OTR, you're dealing with different people. There's different parties involved. They're all partners. We're going to build good relationships with the 3PLs. We're going to build good relationships with the consumers. Consistency is what pays off. Consistent work is ultimately uh, the key to sustainability. That's why I talked about yesterday the small wins. I'd rather have a bunch of small wins than spend time chasing a home run. You're not going to get a home run every day. I can find small wins every day. I can find small wins every day. May not be able to hit a home run every day. I can get on base though. I can get on base a couple times. And because I know I can get on base every day, it's going to be consistent. I don't need no in between days where, damn, I went for a home run today and I didn't get one, so we're going to zero out today. All right, we'll try again tomorrow. Man, I struck out again chasing this home run. Whole time I could have bunted or just got on base. I see a gap in left field. I can get on base, but man, base ain't good enough. It's money, but man, I'm trying to get that home run. All right, bet. Keep chasing that home run. That's more work for me. You pass on the base hit. Don't worry about it, pimp. I got it. Let me get that. Let me hold on to that real quick. Let me show you something. I'm looking consistency. Work on your reputation of being reliable, providing quality service, and being efficient. This really helps when you're dealing with consumers. It also helps with partners, brokers, 3PLs as well. People want people that they can rely on. Their name is at stake too. The 3PL has to report to the retailer. The broker has to report to the shipper. There's other people's names on the line as well. And people like to rely on people that they can trust. If you don't keep this in the front of your mind, then you're crazy. You can't half-ass anything. You got to keep that fact that a key to consistent business and returning customers is reliability, quality, and efficiency. And then we can draw a chart and we can draw lines under each one of those and break them down even further. Another thing that a lot of people don't do is set goals, long-term goals, short-term goals. They don't look ahead. A lot of people in this industry, they live day to day. They focus on day to day. They don't create a plan. Creating a plan means you're searching, you're working towards, I should say, certain milestones. You're giving yourself a task and a challenge to conquer. Listen, I want to be here in 6 months. So now you're working towards something in 6 months. If you get there, great. You give yourself a new 6 month or a year goal. You work towards that. If you didn't, okay, where did I drop the ball at? Okay, I'm about 90% there. All right, let me get this 10% out the way and let me see why I didn't hit this milestone in the time frame that I given myself so I can make sure I hit it in the next time frame. You're just doing some stuff. You ain't working towards nothing. See, when you got a job, you working towards a promotion. Man, I want to make sure I'm on time. I want to make sure I'm this. I'm going to go above and beyond because you know what? With the promotion come a bump. What happens when people start their business? They get complacent. They forget that, guess what? Ain't no HR manager, ain't no operation, ain't no general manager or store manager to give you that motivation. Ain't no huddle in the morning. Ain't no employee meeting to pump you up. Ain't no 3-month review or no 6-month review where we going to go over the past 3 months and the past 6 months to see where you were strong at and where you were weak at and coach you into what you need to work on so that you can get better when your next review comes around, so you can get, instead of getting a 1% bump, you can get a 3% bump. This is all on you. Ain't nobody there to push you. Ain't nobody there to motivate you. It's all on you to set these goals, attack them, and conquer them. If you want to scale, set a goal. If you want to increase your profit margin by 3%, set a goal. Because now you're going to work towards it. And every day you're going to work towards that goal, whether it's cutting costs, looking for new opportunities that pay more, so on and so forth. Diversification, if it's diversifying, you know what, I want to hit this goal, but I'm not going to hit it, in this niche. I really don't want to do it, but I already set the goal. And I'm a person that if I say I'm going to do something, I gotta complete it. I gotta do what I set out to do. I'm going to have to switch over to final mile. Or I'm going to have to switch over to OTR. I'm going to have to switch over to this, whatever the case may be. And when you create these tasks and these challenges, be strategic about it. Change your mindset. Make sure that you are operating with a strategic mindset, and everything that you've went through in the last 6 months to turn your business around, you learn from it, and the things that you implemented to put yourself on the right track, you continue to apply those things so that you can continue to grow to and be so that you can continue to grow. How do I want to say this? So you can continue to operate and grow and focus on being more and to focus on more sustainability. I had a brain freeze there for a minute. You want to make sure that you're focusing on sustainability. And that's the key. As long as I can sustain, I'm good. And continue to grow and sustain and not get back in the boat that you just worked 6 months to get out of. It was the reason why you in that boat. We didn't got you up out of that boat. All right, let's boom. We out of it. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to sustain. Did I miss some super chats? Hit the like button. Nope. Did I miss some super? Let me look at this poll. All right, what's the first step to turning around a failing box truck business? All right, so we got 36% that says cut all overhead expenses. Let's think about this. We can't cut all overhead expenses. It's a business. You're going to have overhead expenses. You can't cut all overhead expenses. You're going to have overhead expenses. So that answer is wrong. 4% says reinvest profits into new trucks. That's the 4% of people who I say that think because their business is failing, they think the answer is go buy another truck. You're already failing with the truck you got. What makes you think that getting another truck is going to turn into profitability? 3% said hire more drivers. With what money? You broke. The correct answer is financial assessment and cut cost. You have to assess the problem. In order to turn a business around, you have to find the problem. You can't get rid of your overhead. So you're just gonna pull up to the gas station and pump for free? Hey, Progressive, check it out. I just started a box truck business. Hey, just go ahead and send me over the declaration page. I'm gonna sign everything and just make sure you keep my insurance on. Oh, and we ain't paying you no money. If the truck get into an accident, just make sure we covered. And this gonna be all off the strength, off the love of get it out the mud trucking. And we ain't paying y'all, but y'all gonna cover us. Check it out. Listen. Diamond Trucking Sales or whatever. We finna come pick up this truck that y'all got on y'all website for $50,000 tomorrow. Stock number S as in Sam 603, B as in baller. We're gonna come over there and we're gonna pick it up and just make sure you got the key on the desk with the title and everything, and we just gonna drive it off the lot. No, you're gonna pay bills. Yeah, there's gonna be a cost associated with running a business. So that just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. Turning your business around, you don't have any profits to invest. You don't have any money to hire people. You probably need to lay some people off. The answer is only one answer, and that's financial assessment and cut cost. All right. So we see people are putting the wrong answer on purpose. So since they want to be, we're just gonna close it. All right. So I think that's it. Where are we at with it? An hour and 49 minutes. All right. Do we want to take a question? M. Jackson say he bit off more than he can chew. It happens. Just gotta make it better the next time. It happens. The story of that dude and the non-compete agreement should be criminal. Yep, that was a rough situation for him. Sosa says is a game you got to eat or get ate. Yeah, and you know the unfortunate thing is a lot of people don't understand that. That's one of those things that I got a lot of flack for last year because a lot of people think this is a some type of friend thing or buddy and comrade thing, and this is a dog eat dog. And I think the best way I could give it without, because I know some people are just, I don't know what it is. A lot of people that come into business, I don't think they really understand the nature of business. It's almost like the jungle and the wild. And I think the best way I can put it, which is mild without getting, too graphic of how much of a jungle business is like, look at it like this way. I'm a customer. I have something that needs to be moved, whether I'm a shipper and I need to move a product. I'm a 3PL. I have a route available or I have a product to move. I'm a consumer and I need someone to come move me, my house or my apartment. It's just one thing or one load. There's a multitude of people that want my business. I only got one apartment. Everybody that's a mover in my market wants my business. You're all competing for my business. I can only choose one person. Sounds pretty competitive to me, right? Some of those people that are competing, they're going to go above and beyond. If you're on the spot market, you're not the only person that's calling the broker. If an opportunity becomes available for a route with the 3PL, you're not the only person who's going to apply. And even if you have a route in there, there's somebody in there that's looking to take it from you because they're in a position and they're ready for scale. So they're looking for the people who aren't performing well and they're talking behind your back. Man, I know y'all struggling with him. Got truck issues, late. Man, we get great surveys. I'm ready to scale. I got a crew ready to go. What's up? We'll take it. We already at the top. We get superior rankings every time. All of our customer surveys come back superior. So just because you already got it don't mean somebody ain't not willing to or ain't trying to take it from you. You think you're going to scale and you ain't going to step on some necks? You think that scaling just means there was opportunity available? No, you may scale. This truck may come because it was opportunity available and you saw the opportunity and you applied and you were the person that was best qualified a job. But this next truck could be you see an opportunity from someone else that's weak and you can take it. I'm not trying to do this forever. I'm trying to get it all while I'm out here. So if I see opportunity where it's just available or somebody got it and they lacking with it and I know we can go ahead and take that from them, then that's what it is. Everybody's competing for one customer. In any niche, it's just one. You're on a load board. You're looking at loads, and everybody's competing for the load you're calling. It's other people calling too. I called you. I got a 1-bedroom to move. I got a house to move. Listen, all right, thanks for the quote. I got 3 more companies to call. Wait. Have you called anybody before me? Yeah, and they beat you by $10 an hour. All right. Book with me right now. I'll beat them by $10 an hour and I'll give you a 10% discount on the total price. It's gonna be some people they ain't gonna play. They may not play fair. It may not seem fair to you, but guess what? Your business and their business is 2 different businesses. You may not be able to afford to go down that far. They probably do. I'm seeing movers right now for $50 an hour in 2025. I never saw that back in 2011. So we already know who charging $50 an hour for two guys. It ain't an American. It's somebody whose cost of living is extremely low, who $50 an hour is like being rich hitting the lotto. A person who's charging $50 an hour, that means their cost is extremely low. It's dog eat dog. So when I say, yo, you got to make sure your costs are low, that's in every single niche. When I say, yo, the margins are small, I prove it. You can look at the analytics. There's companies that are paid millions and millions of dollars a year, approved by the FMCSA, to get these statistics. This isn't a large profit margin business. You want to make large margins? All right, get into retail. Not no Shopify store neither. I'm talking about retail where you can create the product overseas, manufacture the product, ship the product, and sell the product. Oh, you're gonna make 400-500% markup. Something might cost you $7-8 to make. You could probably sell it for $300-400 depending on what it is and the brand and what you got backing it. A Gap hoodie costs how much nowadays? About $90. What you think a Gap fleece hoodie costs to make? Even with the shipping, because it's by volume, it's being made in a sweatshop. It's coming over here in containers by volume. Even with the shipping across the country and being distributed to the different stores, which there aren't that many stores anymore because the malls are going away. So now the sales are online, which helps to further increase the profit margin because we don't have the cost of the brick and mortar anymore. It's actually more beneficial for the retailer. All right, you want retail, go to the outlet. We still got stores in the outlet mall. If not, order it online. But guess what? Because our profit margin is increasing because we got rid of our stores, we're not going to lower our prices. We're going to keep our prices the same because now our profit margin increases. This is turning out to be a good thing that y'all ain't coming to the mall no more. Because now we can just get a few of these facilities throughout the country, or we can outsource to companies like Amazon. We can build an Amazon store, let them handle all the fulfillment and logistics, give them a piece of the pie, and then we could just sell it off of there. Even with giving them a piece of the pie, it comes out cheaper than us paying $40,000 a month for rent, plus the cost of utilities, plus the cost of labor. Because even on those slow days like January, when no one's going to go in these stores and shop, we still have to have people to man the store. We can eliminate all that cost. But we ain't going to go down on the price. We just going to keep the same price, which now we making a higher margin. So you want something with large margins, get into retail. Go over to Indonesia, go over to China. And people do this all the time. Find someone that can sit down. You can sit down with them, give them all your sketches, and they can do manufacturing or walk their plant, their manufacturing plant. How many pieces? What's the minimum piece requirement? They may say, listen, we gotta produce in order for us to manufacture, you got to do a minimum of 5 million pieces a year. If you can't do a minimum of 5 million pieces, it's not worth it for us to put you on our line because it costs. Yeah, we're going to do it cheaper, but man, we need a minimum of 5 million pieces a year. And this is going to be the unit cost. We can do it about $9 a piece. come over here with the shipping and everything, you might be at 20 something dollars because you're doing it in volume, doing containers. Let's say $25. And you got some type of brand that got a name, something that costs you $25 all in, you turn around and you retailing it online for $250 or $100 or $75. You still making a killing. Those are good margins. Trucking, you're not gonna get those types of margins. So you have to be aware of every single aspect of your business, because if you're operating on razor thin margins, like a lot of people are, or small margins, man, and you're not mindful, one little incident or one setback. So which video are you talking about? Oh, this one? This one, or you talking about the video I put out the other day? All right, here's your question. My question is, I watch the videos a lot. Now, if I want to apply the moving and the customer service, but with hospital and pharmacy, so what do you want to move in a hospital? What do you want to move in a hospital and pharmacy? All right, so if you want to move pharmacy stuff, then as far as pharmaceutical delivery, there's 3PLs that do it. I know T-Force has a medical distribution. T-Force Medical, they do pharmaceuticals. The apps do it now too. Like CVS is with UPS, and they've outsourced that to their roadie division. So I know T-Force has a medical pharmaceutical account. Now, as far as moving hospitals, I what do you mean moving hospitals? I've never hospitals move. I've never known a hospital to move. I know one hospital to move across the street, and that was Cook County to Stroger. When the old Cook County building, they built a new one. But other than that, and even with moving hospitals, and I could be wrong, but I think that would be more union based. I don't think a private owned moving company, if a hospital needed to move, let's say there's an old hospital building and it's old and they decide to build a new building, let's say across the street, a lot of that stuff that they move across the street, 9 times out of 10, they're going to hire a union mover. I'm willing to bet you. I'm willing to bet. Right, US Pack, they do pharmaceuticals as well. Thank you, We Carry Freight. They do. I've never moving a hospital, never never heard. No. I don't know. A hospital never called me. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the hospitals, especially hospitals here, like I know UIC hospital, they got their own logistics department. They got box trucks. I've seen UIC 16 footers. I've seen UIC 26 footers. They have a logistics department. A lot of these hospitals, especially the big ones like the University of Illinois Chicago, University of Chicago, they got a whole logistics department with their own box trucks. So they'll probably do it internally, to be honest with you. Now, smaller hospitals, I don't know. And even with the smaller hospitals, they'll probably hire a union company. I just don't see anybody non-union coming into a union facility to do any services unless you're unionized. So Don Solo said, "You don't think he talking about moving hospitals like that?" Yeah, that's why I say he gotta like ask his questions specific. If he talking about moving hospital beds and stuff, then look into spoke logistics, and that's not really moving; that's delivery. So he used the word moving. You gotta be specific, big dog. That's what that goes back to articulation. Articulating yourself correctly, because the way you articulated it in the sentence, you said moving the customer. And if I was hiring you, like I can't, I don't got time to try to figure out if that's what you really meant or not. See how this can be misconstrued? Because I'm sitting up here trying to figure it out. Like, what are you talking about moving a hospital? If you're talking about doing deliveries to hospitals of pharmaceutical and hospital supplies, then that's delivery. That's dedicated delivery. So you need to look at a company like Spoke or T-Force Medical. And it may not necessarily just be delivering to the hospital. It could be delivering to customers, hospital supplies and or pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals you can do in your car. It doesn't require a van or a truck. Uh, so all right. So I think that's it. I want y'all to notice something. Ever since we've been focused more on, I've just cut to the chase. Y'all notice it's not people come and then they leave. We had 100 and some people, and then it went down when they saw I wasn't cooking, or not cooking in that way, but talking about phoning them and man, it's just straight business. They don't stick around. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna continue on this path because I want to weed out a lot of people who ain't really here for the business. They're just here for the whatever. Um, and then we may come back to, if I get bored, maybe I'll cook up like some. I may talk that talk, but right now we ain't starting off the year like that. We'll get into the talking that talk later. Let me see. Uh, uh, yeah. So we gonna chill out on that for a minute, and just and then as far as the video, we elevating that too. We taking that different to different heights as well. So so it is what it is. We just elevating over here. We ain't got time for like I ain't finna this year. We not anything that we focus on last year. I'm just referring people back to last year's content. You want to talk cost per mile? All right, go look through 2024's content. It's plenty content on that, because that's going to be an issue coming up in the next 5-6 months, because we about to have a flurry of new people come in during tax season. I mean, if one of the calls the other day, Sunday, you could tell it's just lack of research. Notice I asked, like, when y'all gonna be ready to come in? Oh, in a few months. Why? We already know why. I see a lot of people, certain content, I see the views going up. Like the basic how to do this, how to do that. That elementary stuff that a person who's not in, that's looking to come in, that type of content, those views are starting to go back up. They go up every time around this year. The tax videos. And then those are the people that are gonna come in, and then by June, July, we're gonna get the struggle. Man, bro, I need your help. I've been doing this almost 3 years now. It's a pattern that happens every year. Man, bro, that's when you're gonna see those present the best call-in show calls. Like April, May, June, July, August, those are the best call-in shows. Because that's all the new people that are just, oh man, they don't know what to do. Like, what did I get myself into? Then we go into the holiday season. No, it's still up. It's still up. Just search it in the under the live videos. It's not under videos. It's that was a live stream. So when you look for it, you gotta search it under the live. It's live. It's live, Peter. That's under the live videos. Uh, um, you're right. Waiting on them taxes. Talking about yeah. So and I'm not doing that anymore either. I just wanted to prove something on that so that I could talk about it on future live streams. Uh, yeah. So yeah, we gonna move on this year. We're focusing on more uh, produced content, as you can see. We invested and we're continuing to invest into some more software to, and I'm doing it myself. I'm teaching myself how to do it. That's why you keep seeing it get better and better and better. And we're going to do more produced because I've done pretty much all the education. It's there. You just got to go search for it. So we want to grow, continue to grow, and you can't stay the same. That's why I'm not going to entertain certain things. Just you know, I ain't got time to be going back and forth. I ain't. We did that already. Now it's just growth. Yeah. Wish everybody the best of luck, but I'm finna be like Jay-Z. Like I just ah, I don't see nothing, bro. Uh, yeah, man, that TQL is that was the most viral video I ever did. To be honest with you, I ain't never had a video that that video did 10,000 views in a day. So I never had a video that ascended as quickly as that did. Um, I expected it to be a good video, but I didn't think it would be that good. I mean, it's still doing numbers. So, that video took me a while. That 9 minutes took me a while. It took me 4 days just to edit it because I'm learning. I'm teaching myself how to edit. I got a few programs. I want to get a few more. Think I'm gonna buy DaVinci, and I'll probably buy another program just to see which one. I'll just fluctuate between different. So that editing software, that shit is expensive, like $300-400 each software. So, but I want to fluctuate between all of them because all of them have different things, and I'm teaching myself how to do it. And as I conquer one, I'm gonna just go to another one and see which one presents the best, you know, for the things that I need, and that's where I'm focusing on for as far as that type of content uh, this year. But yeah, that video took some time. Yeah, just the editing took 4 days by itself. So just putting it together, outlining it, So, but yeah, a lot of people expressed their disdain in that for TQL in that video. So, uh, Kevin says, "Hey Mark, I've said it before, but I want to say it again. Your docu-series content is formal and phenomenal. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hopefully, it just continues to get better. Not something that I saw done in the space. And like I said, if you've been following my content, I just try to look for. I don't want to be the mediocre guy. I don't practice mediocrity. I like to experiment and go above and beyond. I think that is one of the keys to my channel's growth. I'm always pushing the envelope. So and uh, it just wasn't something that was done. I talked about it before. I talked about it last year, end of last year. Like everybody can sit in their home or in their truck and make content, and that's what everybody in this space does. I want to do something different, so I'm gonna take more time on content and create you know series where it can be educational and provide some level of entertainment while being educational. I just think I've like we did a year of PowerPoints. I've done all the PowerPoint presentations. I've done whiteboard presentations, and I'm just everything you need from a business perspective. I've done it, if not once, 3 times. So let's do something that the space has not done. We've done testimonials. We've done the Wiseman podcast. I was actually about to bring the Wiseman back. I tried to go the other day and talk to the guy. he didn't talk. He mistook something, and I guess that was God, intervening, saying nah. So I don't know. He mistook something that was done, and Pippi figured it out, and it was resolved. But I went to pitch that because I had a wasn't a favor. It was something that was owed, and we were going to do that. And I had kind of been setting it up. I'm a person that I do things calculated. And I was setting it up, and I pitched something else, but really something else that I pitched to the audience was really a pitch for that. I just wanted to see what the sentiment of the audience would be. I never intended on doing the call-in show as a members only. My intentions was to do the Wiseman as a members only, because that, if I had to measure both of them are, I think, needed and important, right, in the space. But if there was one that obviously was that had more of a cultural effect, it would have been the Wiseman, right? So when I pitched the call-in show for members on, I wanted to see the sentiment, and the sentiment I wanted to see was, would people become a member on the bottom tier for it? And when I got the answer, I already knew what it would be if the Wiseman came back. And my plan was to do the Wiseman on the top tier, produce the show. There was a situation with me and the other party that would have concluded that situation. And then if we would have went to do another season, or if the situation would have resolved itself within that season, the differences after YouTube took their 30% and costs associated with producing it, we would split down the middle. And that was the plan. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore. So, yeah. So, y'all can forget about that. Wasn't my doing. I went to propose it, but it is what it is. So, but yeah. And that's something I have been thinking about for 3 weeks, because or 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And it came with opposition, but something was promised, and I do kind of want to give people what they want. The majority of people wanted it. And I think it would have been a good opportunity. But it is what it is now. So shout out to Nick for that super chat. Where's my button at? Do I have a crypto group? No, we did the finance series on it's in the members only. You can go watch in the members only. That ship has sailed, though. That ship has sailed. Like, if you wasn't watching that content then, like, I wouldn't promote none of that stuff now. That ship has kind of sailed. That was one of the ones where, time was of the essence, so to speak. So if you wasn't, up on that then, like that shit, like it's stuff that we up 1,000, 3,000%. So it's too volatile now. It's ran. So that's why I'm not making that type of content right now, because there's going to be people that just don't know what to do, and it's not foolproof at this moment. See, back then it was foolproof. It was just if you were patient, you were good. If you wasn't patient, then you wasn't. The people who wasn't patient or didn't know how to play and move things around and things like that, then people who knew what to do and knew how to take profits and move things and so on and so forth, and patient, those are the people that won. That ship is sailed. So if I do that type of content, it's definitely going to be bear, 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 bear. And right now we're not bear. So you're looking for about another year, maybe year and a half before I do that type of content again. I won't do that when it's too risky. Only when you don't really have anything to lose. So, but yeah, what was I talking about? So yeah, I'm gonna continue that type of content on that side, and it takes longer. You know what I'm saying? But it it's just something that's not being done because it's very very time consuming, like time consuming. Days for 4 days for 9 minutes just editing. So that's what I'm gonna do going forward on that side, and I appreciate everybody likes it. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's just the thing is I try to do things different. That's why I started creating series, the testimonials, the wise men. And I was when I created the wise men and I approached him, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, and he'll tell you, after the first thing it did okay, but I was like, man, I thought it was gonna have a bigger response. And he said, no, just keep going, keep going, keep going. It was him that encouraged me to keep going. It was my idea, but he encouraged me to keep going. I wanted to, after the first season, I was like, man, I thought it was going to do better. And we came back and the second season was a hit. But yeah, that's why I created that, because I got the idea for that from Undisputed and First Take. I knew it would be engaging. You know what I'm saying? So testimonials, I just thought was a good idea for people to hear other people's stories. And those other podcasts that I did in the past, they all had their, but those two testimonials, Wiseman, and then obviously the call-in show, a lot of great viral moments within the niche, not overall, but within our niche. You got the 28-year-old, you got NW Lou, you got Talk to Me Nice, you got what's buddy the rental truck guy, I forget his name, 5400 guy with the rental truck, didn't realize he paid the 5400 and didn't even have the truck for a month. Like all these things, created, these viral points in the space. And that was like a spinoff of kind of the call-in show. I mean, the Wiseman, because once the Wiseman ended, then I wanted to come with something that could be just as educational but entertaining in the space. And it was risky. It's risky. You see, some people are upset. Some people love it. More people love it than don't like it. But part of being creative is taking risk. It's just like I was telling the young guy, and a lot of people in the space. There's people in here that got channels. I seen Kenny in here. Somebody put me on his channel. There's people that watch me that have channels, and they'll come to me and be like, "Man, what can I do? What can I do?" And I'll give them advice. But a guy reached out to me about 2 weeks ago now, and he was talking to me, and he wants to do a channel. I'm like, but he said one thing that I told him probably shouldn't. He said, "Man, I'm worried about what people going to think and say about me." I said, "Don't do it. That right there, you're putting yourself out. People gonna say shit. They're gonna scrutinize you one way or the other. They're gonna it may be a lie, it may be not a lie, it may be their disagreement with you, and they could be right or you could be right. That's what it is. So if you worried, then don't do it. You got to have a thick skin, and but yeah, there's a lot of people that watch and they ask me for advice. Tracy Jones, that's who it was. Thank you, uh, St. Louis. But so we're working on other things. When I say we, I brainstorm ideas with MGMs and stuff like that. So I'm working on another show as we speak. I don't the Wiseman. I think that's done. I was going to bring it back, but I think it's done now. Um, that situation he was upset about, Pippi resolved that. I told him, but he didn't want to talk because of something petty. Fine, whatever. It is what it is. So that don't look like that's going to happen. So I already got something else that's in the works, um, which I think is going to be great for the space. I'm thinking about investing some more money in. I ain't going to talk about it into some other things. But yeah, it's just growing and elevating, and just I'm still going to do these streams where I'm just speaking from point of view, right? But I want to do more. I don't want to say scripted, but more just planned out things. You know what I'm saying? So just because it's a small niche doesn't mean that you can't have uh, uh, decent shows, like some niches that just have a bigger audience. It just takes an individual just go above and beyond and push the needle forward. That's all. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. Um, uh, Nelson says, props to you, Mark. You do educate it, not just throw a snippet here and there and pitch something. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Answered that. Appreciate that super chat. I answered that one. You're right. And that's what I told the guy, so, and I told him, you just have to come with it. That's the thing. That's going to differentiate you from the rest. He was a younger guy, so those younger guys, he's 22. You've seen him before. He comes up on the channel a lot. I'm not going to say who he is, but those younger guys in the society that they live in today, a lot more. They're a lot more. I don't. They be depressed a lot, and I think it's because, like what he said, he's concerned how people are gonna perceive him, and that I think that has to do with social media, right? They'll throw up something, and if it don't get enough likes or interaction, engagement, they'll be depressed about it, and that's why I think that generation is kind of the way they are. Um, and I told him that. And I told him, I'm old, so I don't care, bro. It is what it is. I'm not, at the end of the day, like like I don't care. I said, so if you care, you shouldn't do it. And it sounds like he not going to do it. He wants to. He wants to, but I don't think he's going to do it. So he said low self-esteem. We wasn't taught that. Well, yeah, you definitely got to have, you got to be, you know, you gotta have that don't care mentality. So you know, if you look at some of the bigger guys, and not in this space, this is a small niche, but whatever your favorite niche is, like, the bigger people ascend, the more scrutiny, So and that just comes along with it. So you have to be prepared for it. And that's why I was trying to explain to that young gentleman the other day, and I think he got it. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, yep. So, yeah, so we're gonna focus on that, and then and I have been meaning to talk about that. So you may not see as much on that side, maybe one or two a week, because it does take time to put that out. But I am gonna bring a new show into the fold that I'm working on that I think is gonna be really educational and engaging. I just still in the planning process, and I got another show or two that I'm working on. So, so I think 2025 will be a good year on the channel. So, all right. Okay. All right. I'm going to retire for the evening. I got to get to the gym a little bit earlier. You got these New Year's people. Like, going to the gym now is like waiting in the government cheese line. Like, I'm waiting to get on every machine. It's a line. I may work out in my building today. I may just stay here and work out in the building. I don't know. I've gotten so much info in the past year from the channel. I eventually have to get on the call in. Yeah, you probably want to get on the call in soon. You might want to get on one soon, because we might dissolve that. We might dissolve that. I might dissolve it. I know when to end something while it's on top. I know how to create a demand for something. And that's why I think the wise men wise demanded, because it was such a good show. Is just a demand. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Is just a demand for it. So I might put that to bed for a little bit, um, to focus on other things, uh, for the channel, um, or I might revamp it. Um, I might revamp it, but I'm thinking about it. So I don't know if you want to call on a call-in show. You probably want to do it sooner than later, because you know me, I never brought testimonials back. Some other stuff that I just don't bring. I'll let stuff sit and just move on, because I'm pushing the limits of how far. The more I get involved in it, the more I want to push the limits, um, and see how far my creativity can go, even in a small niche. And that's what makes it just uh, it makes it exciting for me. Like, even though these docuseries take extremely amount of time to do, it's like I be obsessed with it. Like, the last one I get, the TQL, like Saturday night, I'm like, bro, I've been working on this, editing this shit for 4 days. Like, the whole process was like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But the editing, I'm like, bro, I have to have this out tomorrow. I stayed up to 3. Then I had to mix it, which, man, I still gotta work on my mixing, which I'm still researching the mixing and learning how to mix. And by the time I mixed it, and I just uploaded it and wrote this description and everything out, and I just let it upload. I took a shower and went to bed. But I scheduled it for that morning because I just wanted to be done with it. But yeah, it's doing pretty good. It's been being perceived really, really received very, very well. So I appreciate everybody that watched it. It'll only get better. Um, Not everybody's made for the camera. Some older generation not used to be fronting camera now about what people think. Yeah, it's not. Even when I first did it, it was, because public speaking is something that maybe I want to transition into later. So it was something that I could do that could help with that. And it was a learning experience. And I mean, people that have been watching me, they can see, you know, the the growth, just from, how I engage with the audience. You have to be comfortable. Um, you have to be very comfortable. And, I see that a lot of people just, and that's why you see a lot of people don't stream, because it's like you can't just throw it out and then like you're in front of a live audience. So like you gotta, you know, your mistakes. It's not like you're editing where okay, you know, so like even like I get brain farts sometimes. Sometimes I'll be thinking, I'll be cooking, and I'll just draw a blank. Like with the QuickBooks thing, like I've talked about QuickBooks. Obviously, I know what QuickBooks is, but for some reason, early in this stream, I just couldn't think of QuickBooks because I got so much stuff going through my mind. I'm going off the cuss and I'm talking, but I'm talking while I'm processing what I'm going to say a couple sentences down the line, and I'm outlining it in my head. So sometimes, I can draw a blank. That's another reason why I transitioned from doing those late night streams where I used to come on at 7, 8, because a lot of those times where I would be extremely tired. If you look at some of those live streams where I used to come on late, sometimes I'd cook up and then sometimes I'd be up here like, and I would be drawing like brain freezes because I done got up, I done went to the gym, I done, been moving around, I did this, I done did that. And now I'm just, winding down, but now I gotta come speak and my brain isn't as fresh as it was 8, 9 hours ago. So that's why I started streaming earlier in the day, because my brain is a lot more, fresh. And even with that, you see well, I know I see the difference. I'm just more, sharp, than, streaming at 7, 8 at night, you know. Uh yeah. So you said go back and watch for bit. Yep. So yeah, a lot of those videos are, you know, I'm talking, but it's not as uh I don't want the confidence, because I was still gaining the confidence of speaking um to a audience. And the more you do it, uh you get better with repetition. You get better with repetition. So that's why I started doing it more and more often, because I was streaming on Tuesday nights. Then I started Tuesday and Thursdays. Then I started Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Then we did the Wiseman, so it was Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. Then I stopped doing Tuesday. Then it was Thursday and Sunday and Monday. Then I just said, I'm just going to do it whenever. And then I said, man, I'm gonna try to do a morning show every day, and that's what I've been doing. I haven't dedicated it, you know what I'm saying, but I try to hit every day, at least Monday through Friday, unless I got something that I gotta do. I try to hit this late morning, early afternoon slot. Um, uh, even days when I don't want to do it, I I do it. So it's work that's associated with it behind the scenes, that you guys don't obviously have to come up with a topic. That usually happens the night before. I usually brainstorm topics when I'm in the gym working out, because I'm usually in the gym late evening. So I'm brainstorming topics. Usually topics may come from something that has occurred on like a call-in show, or just something that I see a lot of people having an issue with. And then I start to build the outline in my head. I'll request a thumbnail if need be, if it's not done in house. Um, uh, uh, and then the next morning, obviously, got to build the production, which is all it is, switching from here to here. Some of the stuff stays stationary, but depending on what we're doing, if I got a guest or I got to share my screen, I got to make sure that it's there. I might want to go with an overlap here. I might want to go where it doesn't overlap. So, all that has to be built into all this pre-production uh, uh, stuff. And I do that before the stream. and obviously I kind of outline things in my head. Sometimes I'll write it down, just the bullet points in a notepad, because I can see what the bullet point is. Okay, boom, analytics, and then I can cook. Uh, so there's even though it's not like the work associate, I multitask. Like I can think of the topics while I'm working out or something like that. It's still my brain is working towards what I got to do for the next show, the next day. Yeah, so it's definitely work, but I kind of like multitask. That's the only way I'll be able to hit these time slots. I gotta multitask. I gotta think of topics and stuff while I'm doing other things, and kind of like brainstorm it and retain it in my head overnight. To the next day. Uh, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Um, so you trying to get into the business? All right. Well, just make sure you get a good start, man. Just make sure you do all the research you could do, and make sure you can got some working capital that you can cover your costs throughout the growing phase of the business. And if you're leaving your 9 to 5, like you said you're doing, just make sure you can cover your living costs throughout the course of the growing phase of the business. And that's the best information I can give you. I got a lot of content on the learning curve phases, and the beginning stages, which are the most difficult when you're building a foundation. You just got to go back. I can't even pinpoint, and people be wanting me, man, send me this video, send me that video, bro. I got between live streams and videos, I have 984 pieces of content. I just can't. I can't. People got to find the stuff. It's there. You just got to go find it, bro. Like I'm putting it out, and you just got to find it, bro. People get mad at me when I don't send them the link, bro. Like then a guy got mad at me. He's like, "Yeah, 24 hours later, you still ain't posted the link. I knew you were cap." I'm like, bro, I get it. If not hundreds, a couple hundred comments a day, bro. Like I don't respond to every comment. I can't. I don't even get notifications. YouTube used to send me notifications for comments. It doesn't send me notifications for all comments. It only sends me notifications for the comments that are new comments. If someone responds to a person, like if you put a comment and then somebody comes under your comment and responds to you, it doesn't send me those. It may send them to me every now and again, but it doesn't. If person puts a comment and then I respond to it and then they respond to me that requires another response, I don't get notifications for those. There's not even an option for me to turn them on. It only sends me notifications for brand new comments. And what I've noticed is the more comments that I get, the less comments it sends me notifications for. When I first started the channel and I was getting a comment every 5th day, I would get them all. The more comments I get, the less notifications it sends me. So, I just don't think, and I think that's done by design. Obviously, there's people with millions of subscribers, like a Mr. Beast. I doubt if they're sending him every single comment. He's probably getting thousands of comments a minute. I doubt if they're sending. So I think that's done by design, because I see that the more comments I get, the less they send me notifications. So, but a guy got mad. I did put the link there, but like I'm not sitting around looking at comments all day, bro. Like, bro, I got other things to do in my life, believe it or not. There's other shit to do. I'm not sitting around waiting for you to comment so that I can respond expeditiously. Just not, bro. So there's other ways to get in contact with me, or you can source the information yourself. Just got to go through the content. Use keywords. They have a search bar. It's a search bar there for a reason, to search. type in certain keywords for what you're looking for. Like, that's what you use the search bar for. You don't have to know the exact title, but if there's something that's specific that we're talking about, like final mile or market, like somebody wanted to know what the market, Pippi gave them the link. But if I want to find a market analysis video on my channel, I'm going to search market analysis. And guess what? It comes up. Everything that has a market analysis, either market analysis in the title, market analysis in the keywords, hashtags, and even we're talking about Google. We're talking about Google, ladies and gentlemen. So even if the lecture is on market analysis, I probably said market analysis umpteen times in the stream. So the AI is going to pick up something that market analysis was spoken on a multitude of times. I'm looking at shorts. I'm looking at video on competition. This video was focused on competition, but I must have talked about market analysis because it's showing it. So all you have to do is grow, and then guess what? You find a video that the whole video pertains to market analysis. So I don't understand when people say, "Well, man, I heard you talk about the da 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 da." Man, send me the link, bro. Search. I don't understand it, bro. Like, I don't understand this, bro. You quick to search cooking with Kaya. You search cooking with Kaya. You gonna search the double dose twins. Who else? Who the new baddies out there right now? Who the new baddies? I ain't up. Who the new ones? Who the new ones they looking for? Who the new ones? Who the new baddies? Who the new ones that's making noise? Bernice Burgos. Who y'all searching for today? Y'all know how to search that type of stuff. Shoot, search. You want me to come up here cook for 3-4 hours, find my channel 2 years later, and then want me to go through 984 pieces of content to find one piece of content for you. So you want me to do the work. I did the work, paid the cost, took the losses to come here to give it to you for free, streamed it for 4 hours. And then, hey man, I heard you mention this video on so and so and so. Hey, send me the link to that. What? I don't get it, bro. Big old search button, big old search bar on everybody's YouTube channel. Anybody YouTube channel you go to got a search. Every single video for the past year, I've made sure to put keywords and hashtags. So it won't be hard. Shout out to Moving Company Hustle. Shout out to Moving Company Hustle. You said Sexy Red and Glorilla? Right, yeah, because y'all searching them. Y'all know how to find them. Find the market analysis video. You feel me? Find the competition analysis video. Find how to do a business plan. Oh man, Mark, that business plan is in the members only. All right. Man, it's in the members only. What I'm supposed to do? What you think? You go pay buddy ass a dime, 10 racks. You can't pay $2. Like, I don't get it. You pay buddy 10 racks, and you telling me you don't want to pay $2 for a business plan. It's crazy to me, bro. $2.99. The membership ain't the second and the third tier. I don't even produce content for those tiers. Those people that pay level 3, those are people that just support the channel. And shout out to all those level 3 people. Shout out to all the level 2 people. Every single piece of content that's in the members only is accessible on level 1. Obviously, there's a shit ton more level 1 people than level 2 and level 3. Level 2 and level 3 people are people that just support the channel and we appreciate them. And one day this channel is going to be profitable. It's going to be profitable one day. Don't worry about it. But level 1 to get you access to everything. All the stock crypto content series, all the market and the business plan, all that stuff. Then I redid the business plan like a week ago and put it out on the main channel. I just updated it. And that's in the live streams. I'm doing a new series in there, The Books That Built Me. I did episode 1 on that. That's going to be a members only exclusive. That's never coming out on the public channel. That's going to be for members only. That's going to be my gift to the members as far as the books that I've read that helped shape a lot of decisions that I made in business and just me as a person. And that's something that I put out the first episode 4 weeks ago. So I guess it's time for book number 2, which I need to put that on my to-do list. I need to get that out. So obviously, if you've been following the channel, you know what my favorite book is, even if you're not a member. So you should already know what book the first book was. Everybody knows my favorite book, but that was the first episode, and but that's going to be a members only series, and the first episode is out. Misclassification was one of the ones the MGMs told me put in the members only after the stream. Obviously, all the investment club stuff, because that's stuff that only should be presented to people who understand, have some level of understanding. We don't want to put that out publicly. And then just some other more critical, videos that, you know, we have to, separate from the members versus the non-members. I put something out, this hashtag IDGAFAACM. Members saw that. That was something that was going to come out public, but we taking a different direction this year, so it was already done. So I didn't want to put it out publicly because I'm changing the sentiment, the direction of the channel. So I just threw that out as a members only. There was a live stream that would happen last week. Um, uh, I put that on members only. Um, so there's something that a service provider contract for people who do local work, a contract that I had that's pretty good that I never talked about publicly. I put that on members only. There's going to be some other contracts that I know people can get from a local perspective that'll be in the members only, but we got one that's in there now. I'm not going to say what it is. Some people have reached out to that company and they have implemented that in. So that's the members only. Yeah, and I don't promote it either. So I don't promote it. I don't tell people to join. It's just people join. They join. I don't. Most you're gonna hear me say is hit the like button. So I'm not a person that pushes things, But the stuff is there, and if you want it, it's there. But y'all, all those people that are level 2, level 3, appreciate you for the support. Recary Freight said he applied for 3 contracts because of the Discord. Right, the Discord, that's free. And I'll be cooking up in there, and people be, oh man, I'm trying to get in contact with you. I'll be like, come to the Discord. They don't come. I'm in the Discord, but like those cookups that I was doing, like the past 6 months, I'm doing less of them. I used to do 1 a day, then it went to 1 a week. Now it's like whenever I feel like it. I'll be in the lounge in there, you know what I'm saying? And I'll see people in there, but they won't. They'll come in when and it seems like people wait to the. And this is another thing. Why do you wait to your to down to your last? Like it was a time period in the Discord where like week after week people were coming to me that was like it wasn't no saving them. Watch the channel. I see you in the comments. You won't say nothing. You'll be in the Discord, quiet, in the voice room, just listening. And then when you get down to your last, like the only thing that's going to save you is a miracle. And I just don't have one of those. We went through that period in the Discord. We went through homelessness in the Discord. We had somebody in the Discord that watches all the content, went out and bought a 12-foot truck. You ain't never heard me mention a 12-foot truck on this channel. Watch all the content and every single Discord cook up. Just so geeked to get into this business. The first truck that was somebody pitched to her, because I think she probably was talking about it to people, and then she went out and bought a 12-foot truck. What you gonna do with a 12-foot truck? So you already knew I had to hold her accountable. What she gonna do with it? Ran a load halfway across country from what I remember for $200 in a 12-foot truck. Then deadheaded back. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I've had multiple homelessness situations. A lot of stuff. Y'all seen one situation that played out on a public live stream where I reached in my like, it's other situations behind the scenes. There's been other situations in the voice room, all because of box trucking and being misled. There was a guy that sat at a truck stop for 2 weeks. I swear to God. And this played out publicly in the like, we all was in there trying to get this kid home. 2 weeks. To this day, this guy thanks us. He made sure he came and wished me a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. His life is good now, but he was one of the ones young and I'm trying to refresh because this happened back in September, October. Young, and similar to like the Daniel situation, but without all the responsibilities of children. Just like you got to know when it's time to just go get a job, bro. Like, you sitting at a truck stop for 2 weeks. Now, somebody would be mad that I told him to go home and get a job. He was going to sit there in Buffalo, New York. I'm like, bro, it's getting cold outside. We all were telling them. We were pleading with this kid. It wasn't just me. That's what I'm saying. When I be saying things on the channel, it's not because I'm just pulling it out of my ass. A lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes or in a smaller setting like the Discord, you don't see it here. I'm begging somebody, please. You have no money. You're sitting here because you have no money. The people that are supposed to care about you don't. We all finna chip in to get this kid home. So when people tell me, oh, which doesn't make sense to me, oh man, you can't, man, we ain't, yeah, we ain't got no, we don't need no work. You hate, man. Why you telling us to get it? Because I know, not forget the real life experiences that I come across that are presented to me. I'm old enough. I have wisdom, and I'm just old that I know that if you do something without something, it's not gonna pan out well for you. I know what the results are. Nobody reached into their pocket. Kelvin people reached into their pocket for Kelvin. I matched everything. And we got Kelvin out of that situation he was in. This kid that I'm talking about, he's working a job now and he's happy. And he last I talked to him, I think he was in CDL school. But he was left abandoned at a truck stop in Buffalo, New York. And that's not the only situation like that. So, you play certain games, you win certain prizes, and not everybody sees everything. So, no, elite. They can come in with no bread. I'm not telling people that no more because they get mad. They can do whatever they want to do. Come in with no money. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. I'm not going to preach the good word no more. If they want to come in with no money, let them. I gave up. Let them. And because I gave up, I don't have that sympathy no more neither. I'm not bailing nobody out. I'm not putting nobody in no hotel rooms. If somebody's stranded, they're going to have to figure it out. I'm not doing it no more. Because it could be the same person that come in and do all this weird shit and talk all this crazy shit. It could be that same person that then come in my Discord with this sad ass story. So I'm just cutting it off. I'm not helping. Like as far as no, I'm not doing that no more. Unless you like somebody that's really been around and I know who you are and you're just in the channel and you're just active, then oh, you hating on us. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing to hate on. You trying to figure this shit out. The shit that you need, I got it. What am I hating on you for? I'm trying to save your ass. You hating on me. You're watching my channel trying to get information. What? I don't understand that. What do you have for me to be jealous or envious? I'm not jealous or envious of anything. God has blessed me with everything I need. Oh man, you hating on me. What? You ain't even got a truck. How am I hating on you? Because I told you you ain't got enough money, you don't got no working capital. You don't. People even use that word out of context. Hate is like envy and jealousy. What is a person that is trying to acquire information from a person that has the information? And a person gives them the information that they need to be successful, and that information could be save more money. Oh man, you hated on me. You don't have nothing. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm humble. When I'm like what you need, you don't have. That's why you're here. You don't have anything. Respectfully. You don't have another word that you could use? Man, you're not being resourceful enough, Mark. You're not helping me enough. You're not giving me the information. Okay, let's talk about that then. How am I not being resourceful? Where can I go above? Where can I help you a little bit better? But just to say, well, you know what, Mark? I got $3,000. I want to go rent this truck and I want to, do OTR. I got $3,000. Then we break everything down and I explain to you, okay, well, you got enough to start. And I explain to you why you need more money. And you say, oh, man, man, you hating on me, man. I could start with 3,000, man. I'm from the struggle. But then I explained to you about working capital. And okay, you just got enough, but your first week, you got fuel up, you got to eat. What if something goes wrong? Well, I'm renting the truck. If the truck break down, they gonna come get bro. The truck could be broke down in the middle of nowhere, and you could be sitting there. It's been people been broke down waiting on Penske and Riders in recovery for hours, bro. What if they outsource to? What if you so far out that they outsource to their roadside, and then they take you to the nearest town? Got to get a hotel. They're not gonna cover the cost of that. What if you gotta get to the next city to book a flight or get to another truck? Or what if they gonna send somebody the next day? You gotta eat, you gotta get a. They're not gonna cover the cost of that. And if they do reimburse you for that, it's a reimbursement. Ain't no telling when that's gonna come. If they do that, like, why would you set yourself out to go OTR across the country in the middle of nowhere with no money? Like, no matter how much I think about this, it does not make sense to me. But to certain individuals that are a certain age or demographic or just lack understanding, oh, you hating on me. What? You got $3,000 and you're willing to put yourself in a dangerous situation. Forget the business. See, you thinking I'm hating on your business. No, I'm trying to protect you. There was a young guy that was literally up on the channel last year, stranded, had to call his grandmother to give him the money for a tow. So I'm not hating on you. It's just an older person who's a little bit more wiser that knows unforeseen things can happen. And guess what? You're going over the road, which means you could be in Booms Freak nowhere in the middle of the night. And guess what? You're going to need some money. This whole, well, once I get the first load and I'll factor it, like we've heard people say on the channel, like the 28-year-old, then I have some money to go off of. Well, we've also had people that come up, the truck broke down, their first load. We've had a few people that happened to. We did two testimonials where that happened to. The last testimonial, that happened to them. First load. So is it hate or is it me really looking out for your well-being? Because I'm more looking out for your well-being than this ain't got nothing to do with trucking at that point. That's a dangerous situation. Would you travel across country on a road trip with your kids with no money? I'm not doing it no more. Because you got ignorant people that they're gonna fight that tooth and nail, and I just don't got time for ignorant conversations this year. So, if people want to come in with no money, God bless them. I'm going to support their decision. I'm not going to try to argue it. I'm not going to try to explain to them why they shouldn't. If they ask me, should they or shouldn't they, then I'll do it. But if they tell me, I'm going to say, all right, well wishes. It's just going to contribute to one side of the equation, and we know which side of the equation that's going to be. You get mad at a person for uh, telling you to do something that's not safe. Forget the trucking, that's not safe. I ain't gonna say the guy name, but the people that is in the Discord, we was begging that person, begging him. We was begging him to book a flight for him to go home. Sitting in a truck stop for 2 weeks, no money. But on a positive note, we finally got through to him. Got home, you know, when he did, once he, got home and got situated, he did come back and thank all of us. That particular guy did. And he said, I don't know what he was thinking and da 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 da. And he's doing good now. So what happened to his truck? So with this particular guy, he came into the box truck business. And it's all the same stories, just different people. He got a coaching from another creator. Not gonna say who because I'm not looking to start no mess. Um, he got a coaching from another creator. He got out here and he didn't last 30 days. He started with $5,000 in a rental truck. Um, After the coaching, he hit the road. He started with $5,000 all in. He lasted about a month. He failed, turned the Penske truck back in, ended up working for another owner operator, driving their truck, and they were not a good owner operator. They mistreated him. They did not pay him timely, and they just had him sitting at a truck stop because they didn't have the money to pay him. And then when they did pay him, he would run loads, and then they wouldn't pay him, so then they didn't run him because they knew they didn't pay him. So they would leave him stranded at truck stops. And obviously, the money that he had, he would go through that eating and um, doing things, and he just was watching the channel all the time. And then when I created the Discord, he came into the Discord and he didn't talk. He would just listen. And one day he just finally turned his mic on and started to engage. And as he got more comfortable, he started to divulge, the stuff that I'm telling you guys. I'm talking public about because people were in the public chat when this was going on. I'm just not gonna put his name out there. The people that were around, then y'all know. Uh, but once we found out that he was spending long periods of time in a truck stop, in this particular time, he had been in Buffalo for 2 weeks in the same spot. And that's when we found out, what we found out about the pay and all that stuff. And even then, with him, it took some coercion to get him to change his mindset because he was concerned about the money that they owed him. And I'm like, bro, like you're 22, 21, 22 years old. You're out here. It's not safe. You should go home to your family. Well, what about the money they owe me, bro? Listen, you might have to chalk that up, bro. You can wait till they come up with the money to pay you for you to go run loads, and the cycle is going to continue to repeat itself. And it took a few days for it was me, I think Pippi, Shark, Jonathan, Grape. It was a few people rich from Chicago. We all were just kind of like, talking to this kid and just trying to get him to understand that the situation he was in, it just wasn't going to get any better. And that it was probably best that he just cut his losses, for the second time and just go home. Uh, like it didn't work with you as owner operator. It's not you're being taken advantage of as a driver for an owner operator for whatever reason. But they know they can continue to take advantage of you because no one is going to sit still for 2 weeks. I'm not. All right, you ain't paid me. I'm gonna go home. You already did it once or twice. Like, I'm not gonna keep going through this process. Yeah, it's unfair, but you gotta cut your losses, bro. You gotta know they don't have your best interest in mind. You're not. This is not productive. Sitting here day in and day out, and then when they do send you money, oh, it's not the whole money. It's $300. They owe you 1,000. They send you 300, bro. It took a few days, but with the convincing of myself and some of the other people that were in those voice rooms at that time, we eventually got him to go home. And he's working a job um, down in Florida, and last I talked to him, he wished me a was it I think it was a Happy New Year's. So I talked to him like a few weeks ago. He came in the Discord and wished everybody a Happy New Year's. Didn't get a chance to get an update, but last time I got an update, he was working and he was enrolling in CDL school. So, you know, so he's doing good. Excuse me. All right. So, shout out to Jay Alexander. Yeah, Jay Alexander, we put that clip up of you the other day. Put that clip up of you the other day. Hope everything doing good with your business, your final mile business. Yeah, Lee, I'm done doing that, bro. It's a new. And listen, ever since I stopped doing that, I cleaned up a lot, got rid of a lot of unwanted, unnecessarily, just the different energy. I just that's over with. We did that for a year. Um, M. Jackson said Toby 700 to 1,200. No, that's not true. Not true. Toby way more than that. You think you gonna pay 700 to 1,200 and you in the middle of nowhere? And that depend on what they towing. That depends on if you loaded, not loaded. That depends on are you on surface or are you in a ditch? If that record gotta come and they gotta pull that crane out, man, you ain't talking nothing less than a nickel. Man, they gotta pull that crane out, boy, you ain't talking nothing less than a nickel. That's $1 million piece of equipment. They pull that big boy out, you paying. You could be paying $1,000 an hour. That's $1 million piece of equipment right there. Shit. In this particular situation that I'm talking about with the guy who had to call his granny, that was the situation. They had to winch him. They didn't have to pull the crane out. It was a winch. They still wanted a nickel. The left side of the semi was on the ground. The right side was in the snow. He couldn't get the traction. They had to pull him out. They wanted a nickel, $5,000. Still was the wrecker. They just didn't have to use the crane. You got that piece of equipment, you ain't finna listen. ROI. I'm not. Or it's $1 million piece of equipment. Imagine getting a quote for $1,000 an hour for a tow or a winch, or you in a ditch. All those trucks that was in ditches all throughout different parts of the country last year, all those semi trucks that slid off the road in ditches, that's the equipment that had to come get them out. That's where the state trooper got to block the road. They gonna pull the truck over. They gonna put them stakes in the ground. It's gonna lift the truck up. The guy gonna operate the crane. They're gonna go down there and hook it up, and he gotta flip it over. Bro, that's heavy machinery. Look up one of them records. See if I can find one for sale. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Let's see. Let's see if we got a price. Trying to find a brand new one. Uh, yeah, everything say not price is not listed. I'm trying to find one with a price. Price not listed, not listed, not listed, not listed. See, even when it's not listed, once that shit get up to be really, really, really costly, that's why I say not listed. I'm trying to see if I can find one that's got a tag on it, but they all say not listed. But yeah, they up there about $1 million. I remember when you can get them for about 750. They're about $1 million now. Uh, you ain't seen a toe that high? Yeah, you don't want to see one that high either. You're right. You don't want to see one that high. That yeah. I remember when we was doing the show with the kid and he was telling the story. I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him. Shit. Uh, um, yeah, you said you had a $10,000 bill last week. I believe you, cause I know you disappeared. I ain't seen you in here in about a week and a half, so I know you ain't been on the road. Because trust me, if you was on the road, you would be in here. So I thought about you too. I'm like, damn, what can have been that? So it lines up. I believe you was down. Uh, um, say they want $1,000 to tow your cargo van 100 miles. Took it up the street to Pep Boys. Yeah. Isaiah says 780,000 for a 2024, and it's not fully equipped. Yep. Mm. Same cousin spent 35,000 on a tow because he bought a used dump truck and driver flipped it with no insurance. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like when they gotta pull that crane out and turn it right side up, like that's why I tell people to put yourself in the position of the other party. You spend this amount of money for a piece of equipment, like your services are going to reflect what your monthly costs are for to the financing to pay for something like that. One, not everybody has that type of equipment. So when things happen, right? Because you know, trucks aren't flipping over every single day. Like those pieces of machinery, those ain't coming out every day. That ain't like a safe tow or a flatbed. Yeah, those trucks are out every day, all day. If it's a successful tow truck company and they got good contracts with good insurance companies and good roadside assistance companies that they're partnered with, they probably running 3 shifts or 2 12-hour shifts. They probably got a tow truck for every single tow truck. They probably have a guy come in, work a 12-hour shift, he come back to the yard, that driver come work 12 hours on the night shift, and all they trucks is out 24 hours a day. If I owned a tow truck company, that's how I would operate. I either operate 3 8-hour shifts or probably 2 12-hour shifts for each truck. Those tow trucks would be out 24 hours a day. But the safe truck and the flatbed, they running. They working all day. That wrecker, you'll be lucky if you get those jobs come far and few between. And when they come, oh, you got to make your money. You got to make your money. What you think a finance note is on $1 million? I I don't know. it's more than $3,000, $4,000 a month. Nah, they believe it. They believe it. It's just some people probably never experienced that, and they probably to have done the research on it or have inquired um, about it. You know, so but yeah, they believe it. I believe they believe it. You know, but yeah. Yeah, so tolls can get up now. 35,000 for your cousin, man. I believe it because depending on how severe the situation is, once that truck came out, how much work they had to do, man, that thing could have been deep down in a ditch somewhere. Somebody like I don't think people really understand the work that's associated with. That's dangerous work. Sometimes they have to block off the highway. They might have to clean up. Like all that, they charge you for all of that. And it's not like some minimal fee. And sometimes I've seen situations where they had to send 2 of them records out. Well, they'll be backed up and both of them got their cranes out trying to recover one piece of equipment. I've seen situations where it was 2 cranes, 2 wreckers. Now, do the math on that. Yep. So it's a lot of ways to make money. Towing is I looked into towing some years ago. When I was looking to diversify. Um this market is kind of tough. And I talked about it before, um in this document, I talked about it before. Like it's tow truck drivers shooting each other in this market. They get in the shootouts, especially the ones that's ambulance chasing. It's been you can Google it. Google Chicago tow truck driver shootouts. They listening to the police scanner and they racing and then they arguing and they shooting each other. Like um The Arabs done got into this industry in this market, and they doing all the ambulance chasing. Then you got some of the brothers that's into it, and they doing, and it's just ugly. Um, so you can make money here with recovery, which is doing repos, but what goes back to market. You know what market you in. So you come taking somebody's car. Listen, the boot man wear a bulletproof vest here. You see the city of Chicago finance department in certain areas where they booting cars, they got a bulletproof vest on. Oh yeah. Same thing with the tow truck. Like those tow trucks that's doing recovery, it's strategic. You'll see them creeping in the middle of the night, all black, black on black, dark black tinted window. They got a follow car. If you in the industry and you might not know if you might not know what you're looking at, but I know what I'm looking at. When I see that dark black truck flying with them dark illegal tints, with that heavy thick glass, and they got that follow car, and they hit them lights and they hit that corner and they take off. Oh, it's game time. They already got a spotter that's sitting there. So now you got three individuals. You got the driver, the security guy, and then you got a spotter that's sitting on the car. And guess what? It's a risk. The little four of them here, they hear you. You might be quiet, but little four of them, man, they might have heard you, and they coming. Oh, y'all seen some of the stuff they got nowadays? These little shorties. Oh man, they got 50-round drums. The beams, they got the colorful beams. See, back in the day, it was just the red. They got the green beams, the blue beams, the switches. You see what they doing to the police up here? You think they won't do it to the repo guy? So shit, they chopping the police down with switches. You think they won't do it with the repo guy? So, when I was looking to it, like all that shit came across. I'm like, man, if you ever break down, let the police call the tow truck, you or whoever you work for better call the tow truck. Yeah, because if you let the state call the tow truck, then it's like a state tow, because uh they're gonna call the companies that they work with that do state recovery or local recovery, and it's gonna be at an elevated price. Yep, yep. So, all right. He just literally just bought the truck used, and he was just transferring it to his yard when his driver flipped it. Man, what was his driver on that day? What was his driver on? Flipped it, just transporting it. Total loss so far is well over 100K. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to your cuz, bro. Yeah, man. I'm sorry that happened. He didn't even get a chance to even use the truck. He bought it and then was transporting it, and that happened. That's crazy, bro. But that's why. But here's the thing, and I hate to use this as a teachable moment, but let's look at this, because I was going to get off, but this is a teachable moment. So let me cook up on this real quick. So here's a guy who bought a piece of equipment, and his driver was transporting the equipment back. So this equipment was just purchased. It hasn't done any business yet. It hasn't made any money. And people say they don't need working capital. Now, yeah, you got insurance. Is the insurance going to cover this? His driver decided to take his daughter, and daughter distracted him and effed up. Did the insurance cover this? Did the insurance cover it? No insurance. There you have it. anything can happen. Now, somebody might look at that, oh man, I ain't gonna do no shit like that. Well, yeah, you might not. But that's just an example of why people should have working capital. Unforeseen situations happen. And you know, you don't like he was gonna put insurance when he got back to the yard. So yeah, man, I'm sorry that happened, bro. But here's an example of unforeseen situations. Unforeseen situations can come in all different shapes and sizes, but the 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 fact remains that they come, and you don't know when or where or how or to what level of severity from a cost perspective, but they're coming. And some people have better luck than others. And it seems like you know yeah, I don't know. I ain't finna get into it because you know people be getting mad and shit. So all right, appreciate y'all. I was on longer than I should have been. I am going to retire and head to the gym. May jump in the Discord for a minute. All right, catch y'all on tomorrow. Peace, peace, peace.